Without the aid of medication and their symptoms are mild and improving, they no longer need to stay home. Snow in the Northeast causing a chain of flight cancellations across the country. More than 1,200 flights have been canceled by midday. Meantime, tens of thousands of flight attendants are walking off the job, demanding higher wages and better working conditions. Dozens of flight attendants from Southwest, American, and United are picketing and chanting outside of George Bush Airport in Houston at this hour. Live from the KSL National News Desk, I'm Maria Chaleos, KSL News Radio.
The Provo Food Bank is putting out a call for help. They've seen a 65% jump in the number of people who need food, and their supplies are depleted.
Typically, in our food bank, we've historically liked to have about 1 million pounds of food, and right now we're down to under 200,000 pounds of food.
Jessica Miller from the Provo Food Bank says without more donations, they're going to run out of food to donate in less than a month. They have a dire need for canned meat and canned fruits and vegetables. They also need diapers, toothpaste, and toilet paper. Utah parents could soon have more options for affordable child care. A bill to ease the child care crunch has passed its first hurdle in the legislature, and KSL News Radio's Alessandra Harris has this report.
This bill would turn existing state-owned buildings into high-quality child care facilities that would then be leased to an employer sponsor and a licensed child care provider. This bill highlights that at least 25% of employees hired must be parents with young children, and 40% of the child care capacity must be saved for children in low-income or military families.
This bill was unanimously approved by a Senate committee. KSL News Time 3:06. First look traffic now. I can tell time, Ricky. I'm just getting warmed up, you know.
Well, we are off to a nice and quiet start for your drive home. That's the good news. If you're traveling any of the Valley freeways, you're good to go. Normal KSL travel times and no crashes. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Thanks, Ricky. My minute's on the way next. Stay right here.
IVC is celebrating 20 years providing quality service in Utah. You've probably heard their saying by now, life starts when the pain stops. IVC is the most trusted interventional and vein center in the state, and they've been voted Best of Utah Valley 10 years running. The 7 physicians at IVC provide state-of-the-art, comprehensive vein care with many years of experience. The team at IVC takes the time to get to know you and your veins so you're comfortable with the right diagnosis and the right treatment. Patients are like family at IVC. You've also heard many radio ads over the years with real people describing how IVC has dramatically improved their quality of life by eliminating the pain and discomfort caused by varicose veins. Well, what are you waiting for? Don't let vein disease slow you down even one more day, because life starts when the pain stops. Visit ivein.com today to set up a free screening. That's ivein.com.
Sometimes when our furnace stops working, it's something simple we can fix ourselves, if we only knew how. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and the next time your furnace stops working, before you call a company out to fix it, try this first. Go shut the furnace down and make sure your air filter is clean. Go around the house and make sure the vents are open and there's nothing blocking the return air. If it's been a while since you've changed the batteries in your thermostat, go ahead and do that too. Then go turn the furnace back on, and if it stays on, you're probably good. If it stops working again, you're probably going to want a technician to check it out. If you don't know one, Any Hour Services has a special offer for any homeowners listening. One of our HVAC technicians will diagnose and troubleshoot your furnace for only $29. Then they'll explain what they found and present you with repair options. And don't worry, our technicians service all brands. Call Any Hour Services and let them know you heard about this $29 troubleshooting special on the radio. 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
A legacy of news and information going back generations.
I'll have the radio on. I learned that from my mom. She's listened to KSL her whole life, and I grew up listening to KSL radio too.
I really enjoy listening in the morning.
We have you covered at KSL News Radio.
This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. This one's for parents whose 27-year-olds live at home. 40% of people aged 25 to 34 live with their parents. The problem is these millennials have to break all the rules. The first one, financial websites say by age 30 you should have $55,000 saved. That's according to CNBC, The Motley Fool, MarketWatch, all of them. But I don't know a single 30-year-old with that kind of money in the bank. Not a one. Older folks grumble these kids are buying too many mocha lattes and chai teas, and yes, they do chase experiences, which we used to call going on vacation, but if you work full-time, shouldn't you be able to afford a little vacation? Fact is, the cost of housing is now an insane, budget-busting, back-breaking lift.
But there's not a lot I can do.
Which brings us to another rule they're breaking. Those who bravely leave behind their teary-eyed moms and dads and venture into the world can expect to drop up to 50% of their paychecks just to have a roof over their heads. We're not talking about an opulent home, just a roof. Up to half their money goes toward having 800 square feet to call their own, but the financial websites spin the financial fantasy that they should be buying a mix of stocks, bonds, and commodities. But another rule: when you invest, don't put all your eggs in one basket. But with rent high as it is, they can't afford eggs. And Mom, that's why you make them for your 27-year-old every morning.
Jeff Caplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
It's traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Ricky Meese.
Just when I thought we were going to start the drive home crash-free, we have a new accident, and it's on the northbound side of I-15, just after 7200 South. But it's a small accident. I'm only seeing one vehicle involved. There may be more, but out of traffic on the right shoulder, so no delay. In fact, a delay-free drive southbound I-15 from downtown to Draper and from the Point to Provo. Looking at a nice and quiet drive on the rest of your Salt Lake County freeways. No problems reported yet on the main secondaries as well. Michelle?
Well, everything's running smoothly on I-15 from downtown all the way up to Brigham City. Also, smooth sailing if you're on I-215's West Belt or Legacy. Where I do see some slowing is in Harrisville. This is on Harrison Boulevard around 2nd Street. Now is the time for a gorgeous new Nielsen home. Beautiful move-in ready townhomes to Rambler communities. Maintenance free for all life stages. See what's new for you at nielsenhomes.com. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Courtesy of small storms passing to the north, we'll keep it mostly cloudy today with a high of 48. Overnight, we drop off to 32 with a couple of clouds. Tomorrow, partly cloudy skies and a high of 48. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
It's 45 degrees in Salt Lake City. Tonight, 6 o'clock, the pregame BYU versus UCF men's basketball. Keep it here. We're streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com. We're on the KSL News Radio app. This is Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The Management Minute is a service of the MBA program in the John M. Huntsman School of Business at Utah State University. I'm Professor Scott Hammond. The medical helicopter landed just 150 feet from the accident. The rural first responders had done all they could, but the urgency of the situation demanded greater expertise. So the A-team arrived. They calmly walked to the patient. They asked questions. They seamlessly provided care, then loaded and transported the critical patient. All in a day's work. Just one of 3 light calls that day. Teams that excel at critical situations teach us more about how to build our best work teams than the sports teams we watch and enjoy. The real world and real-time problem solving is more of a model than the plays and the points scored in a football or basketball game. Learn more about what makes a great work team in an MBA from Utah State University. Go to utahstatemba.com. That's utahstatemba.com. I'm Scott Hammond. Hope to see you in one of our classes.
Do you hear that? If you're like many people, that's the sound of your money. Just lying there in a checking or savings account doing nothing when it could be out there earning more money for you. But at America First Credit Union, we can give your money a wake-up call.
What? What's that?
Rise and shine, Bucky. We can get your money working in a high-yield certificate account, earning you a much better return than traditional checking and savings. Up and at 'em, buddy. We gotta go.
Huh? Where are we going?
To America First. You'll love it there. They're gonna help you do so much awesome stuff.
All right, I'm coming.
So get your money working with a high-yield certificate from America First. Head to americafirst.com today to check out the latest amazing rates. Subject to membership, eligibility, terms, conditions, and change. Federally insured by NCUA.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Do you ever ever feel like getting your supplies for your CPAP is just a huge headache? Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical. We'll say goodbye to the hassle and hello to a stress-free life with our CPAP resupply service. Signing up is a breeze. Just place a call, choose your products, and leave the insurance billing and shipping to us. Our discreet packaging prioritizes your privacy, and we always ensure an on-time delivery. No more trips to the store or worrying about running out of important supplies. We get how crucial your CPAP therapy is, so don't let the stress of keeping up with it affect your sleep and health. Join Alpine Resupply today and enjoy a tranquil night's sleep with all your CPAP essentials. Visit us at alpinehomemedical.com.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
That's alpinehomemedical.com.
It's time for the Sportsman's Vacation and RV Show, February 16th through the 19th at the Mountain America Expo. Save $2 at UtahRVShow.com.
KSL News Time, 3:15. The three things you need to know this hour first.
Students at Utah State University got a surprise wake-up call this morning when a mountain lion was spotted on campus all curled up in a tree. I'm KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla.
Second, the state court has just canceled a hearing to get an execution warrant for death row inmate Ralph Menzies. First, they need to find out if Menzies is mentally competent. Third, our biggest traffic trouble spot.
One small accident northbound I-15 just after 7200 south out of traffic. In fact, we are looking at a delay-free drive on all of your Valley freeways. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Mostly cloudy skies today with highs in the 40s. I'm Matt Johnson.
It's 45 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios now. Our top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The Republican-led House could take up another attempted vote on articles of impeachment against Homeland Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas over his handling of the border. But the House Speaker says he doesn't plan to bring a vote to the floor on the Senate-passed foreign aid package for Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, and Taiwan. President Biden urging Congress to act and also criticizing his predecessor.
President Biden slammed former President Donald Trump, saying he gave an invitation to Vladimir Putin to invade NATO allies.
No other president in our history has ever bowed down to a Russian dictator. Well, let me say this as clearly as I can. I never will. For God's sake, it's dumb, it's shameful, it's dangerous, it's un-American.
The president said the House passing the $95 billion foreign aid bill would show allies the U.S. can be trusted and will not bow to Putin. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin could be released from the hospital later today. The Pentagon says Austin was hospitalized Sunday and treated at Walter Reed for a bladder issue. It follows his prostate cancer surgery in December. An unexpected rise in the consumer price index leading to a major sell-off today on Wall Street. The consumer price index up 0.3% in January from December. That could delay the Federal Reserve cuts to interest rates. Art Hogan is chief market strategist at B. Riley Wealth.
The market participants had gotten used to the slow and steady decline in prices and inflation, and today upset the apple cart a little bit.
The Dow lost more than 540 points. The Northeast digging out after a fast-moving winter storm. It shuttered schools and led to some 1,200 flight cancellations. Celebrations today for Fat Tuesday. In New Orleans, hundreds line the streets for the annual Mardi Gras parade. The Day of Indulgence leads to the start of Lent tomorrow. You're listening to ABC News.
And now the in-depth on KSL. Some Utah mothers are calling out Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. They think that he should grant immigrants from Ecuador temporary protected status. A group of mothers with Moms Rising who rallied at the state capitol this morning. You might be wondering what this is all about. Well, Linda Stone from Moms Rising explained to KSL why they want protected status for people from Ecuador.
One of the things for TPS to be granted to our country is if the country is having or suffered from a natural disaster or is having political instability. And back in Ecuador, my home country, things are very scary and unsafe because of the political instability that has been happening for several years. Back in January 9th, the local criminals by the narco took over pretty much the country and things had to change completely. Now the military are in the streets, people have closed businesses, and that's why also many people have left Ecuador and they have gotten into dangerous journey to try to come here to the United States. So TPS would benefit the Ecuadorians having lived here for many years to have access to better jobs and to continue contributing to the economy of this state and the country.
Linda Stone from the group that rallied at the state capitol today, she says temporary protected status would benefit thousands of immigrants in Utah. And you've been listening to the In-Depth at 15 and 45 now. Your traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Here's Ricky Meese.
It's a straight shot on southbound I-15, leaving downtown Salt Lake City, making your way to the point and from the point to Provo. It gets a little busy at the south interchange to 72nd. That's a bit of a chokehold, but no real delays. And then northbound I-15, we had a crash reported after 7200 South. Looks like that's already been taken care of. A nice drive on I-215, I-80, and the 201, a bit busy either direction of the 21st South Freeway at about 7200 West, but overall quiet on your Salt Lake County freeways. Michelle?
Also looking good if you're making your way up north. This is going from I-15 from Salt Lake all the way up to Brigham City. You're seeing good speeds. We do have a minor crash in Farmington, US 89 at Main Street off to the right. You'll just want to make sure you're aware as you come around that corner. And also seeing some slowdowns if you're on Main Street in Centerville right around Pages Lane. Experience classical music through a new lens. Utah's Symphony's Masterworks Magnified performances feature themed and fun-filled concert events. Learn more at utahsymphony.org. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast remains on the mild side with mostly cloudy skies today, 48 degrees for a high. We keep it dialed at 48 tomorrow for your Valentine's, partly cloudy skies. Rain showers, especially Thursday morning, 46 the high by afternoon. Partly cloudy, 47 on your Friday. How about Saturday? 50 degrees, partly cloudy skies. We keep it in the upper 40s with a chance for showers by Sunday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Oh, this warmth just goes on and on. It's 47 degrees in Salt Lake City. Your 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. We'll check the markets. A hint, it was ugly.
Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News, only on KSL News Radio.
Straight up now, tell me, do you really want to love me forever? Oh, oh, oh. Or am I caught in a hit and run? Straight up now, tell me, is it gonna be you and me together? Oh, oh, oh. Or are you just having fun?
Maybe it's because they're excited about Leap Day at the end of February. At Advanced Window Products, Leap Day means they get an extra day to build windows. But for you, it's an incredible opportunity. This month, they'll give you $2,500 off on 10 windows or more. $2,500 off on the highest quality custom window frames and double pane glass. They'll lower your energy bill and give your home an exciting new look. Any style, any color. At Advanced Window Products, you save money because they cut out the middleman. They build your windows right here in Salt Lake City. They install the windows and they guarantee them for life. So beat the rush. Once it gets warmer, their schedule backs up and you have to wait months and months for installation. So make the call and get to the head of the line. Save $2,500 and get custom precision windows built right here in Salt Lake City. Advanced Window Products offers 60-month 0% financing. You can buy now, pay later, but call now. 801-850-9100. 801-850-9100 or visit AdvancedWindowsUSA.com.
Finally, good news. Mortgage rates have come down and are getting better. This is Jason with American Home Loans. We have a new program at 5.75% fixed for 30 years. Yes, 5.75% fixed rate. After you do your loan with us, if rates go down by 0.5% or more, we will refinance you at no cost to you. We can refinance you every 6 months at no cost as rates continue to come down. If you're in the market to purchase, get your rate locked in at 5.75%. If you need to streamline your current FHA loan, do it at 5.75% fixed rate. Give us a call at 801-262-2221. That's 801-262-2221. 602-2221 or go to AmericanHomeLoans.com. 5.75% is a great rate to buy or refinance. Remember also that doing a loan with us allows you to refinance at no cost every time the rates go down by 0.5% or more. We have over 30 years of experience. American Home Loans, 801-262-2221 or go to AmericanHomeLoans.com.
5.98% APR. NMLS 245422. Equal housing lender.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-735-1275. 800-735-1275. That's 800-735-1275.
You know that feeling? The weather starts getting colder, so you go down to check out the furnace and you look around and think, what am I even looking at? Because you don't know how these things work with all the lights and wires and pipey things. And then you think, I bet those technicians at Whipple went to school for this. Shouldn't they be here looking at my furnace? Whipple that away. Knowing what to look for on your furnace tune-up is my job. Make your problem my problem. Whipple Service Champions. Take advantage of our $27 furnace tune-up at whipplethataway.com.
We're watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Utah First Credit Union. Inflation was a little hotter than expected last month. The just-released inflation rate for January, 3.1%. So that means something that cost $100 a year ago is now $103.10 on average. Economists were expecting inflation would be a little lower last month. JetBlue shares are on the rise today after an investment from Carl Icahn. The billionaire bought nearly 10% of the airline, calling it undervalued. And it was. JetBlue was up more than 21% on the news. Coca-Cola sales topped estimates in their last fiscal quarter. Coke saw less demand for their soft drinks, but they made up for it with higher prices. Coca-Cola stock had no fizz today. It fell 0.5%. And on Wall Street, on the inflation news, the Dow was down 524 points. It closed at 38,272. The S&P down 68. The NASDAQ was off 286 points. And this, a funny thing happens when you drop a Marvel movie trailer into the Super Bowl. Listen.
The trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine dropped Sunday during the Super Bowl.
Your little cinematic universe is about to change forever.
Full of Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool snark and very little actual Wolverine, but fans ate it up. A record 365 million views online in the first 24 hours of release. The most watched movie trailer in a day ever. That beats the trailer for 2021 Spider-Man No Way Home, which had 355 million views in its first 24 hours. Deadpool and Wolverine will be in theaters July 26th. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
With that kind of head start, I hope the movie's good.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors, and I'm proud to tell you we don't lay off employees when things get tough. During the pandemic, we didn't let one of our installers go. Instead, we had them clean and remodel our offices so they could still get paid. Remember the 2008 housing crisis? It was a financial nightmare for even the biggest contractors. Still, we didn't lay off a single worker. Nope. We sacrificed profits to keep paying everyone. Look, when the economy's down, most contractors are quick to lay off their workers. It's the easiest way to save money when times get tight. But at RGS Exteriors, we're loyal to our people. You know why? Because it's the right thing to do. People first. People always. That's the RGS way. For gutters, siding, windows, and more, call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit rgsexteriors.com. That's rgsexteriors.com, 801-280-3110.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try soon. Harry's is available online and in-store at a retailer near you. Get a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/news. That's harrys.com/news. Or check us out at your local Costco for a price you can't find anywhere else. Just look for the Chrome Razor with 13 blade refills at your local Costco. You can't miss it. Exclusive to Costco members.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Ricky Meese.
We're going to start in Tooele County where I'm seeing backups on southbound Main Street SR 36. And this is as you're passing Stansbury Park on the way to Erta. Now, in Salt Lake County, we are starting to see the usual buildup. It's that time of day where traffic gets busy and a little slow. Southbound I-15, Murray and Midvale. But from 90th South all the way to Provo, you're still good to go and looking at a nice drive. No problems on the rest of your Salt Lake County freeways. A little bit of traffic that's getting busy. This is 5600 west in both directions at about 7800 south. Michelle?
Well, drivers are still in good shape if you're leaving downtown northbound I-15 all the way to Ogden. We do have a crash in Farmington. This is Highway 89 and Main Street off to the right. Again, not causing any delays. And looking at some slowdowns in Harrisville at Harrisville Road and 2nd Street in the Ogden area. Need a perfect event venue? This is the place. This is the place, Heritage Park. Ideal for weddings, events, featuring 11 venues, beautiful grounds, affordability for any occasion. Call or visit thisistheplace.org. I'm Michelle Rowan, the KSL Traffic Center.
You're listening to Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News
on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM
and 1160 AM.
Good afternoon, 3:30 at KSL. Jeff Kaplan here. It's 47 degrees. KSL's top story, consumer prices were up again last month. Inflation was worse in western states. KSL News Radio's Amy Kobabe with the numbers.
It's no surprise that the numbers are up again, but economists were hopeful it would be a little less. Instead, we've been hit with a 3.1% increase over the last year, and that's 3.3% in the West.
Geographics matter sometimes, especially for things like energy.
DMBA certified financial planner Shane Stewart also says sometimes we'll have the lower numbers in the West. He also says the Fed now won't likely cut rates quite yet.
We're waiting for it to continue to go down closer to 2 before the Fed will start rate cuts. And what that means to consumers is things will become a little more affordable, especially things like housing.
Amy Kobabe, KSL News Radio.
We're a far cry from 9% inflation 2 years ago. But on today's inflation news, the stock market fell off a cliff. The Dow losing more than 500 points. KSL News Time 3:31. Developing news on KSL. We're just learning that the trooper injured in a fall from an overpass after a car chase on I-80 today has serious injuries but is in stable condition. Salt Lake City police say the trooper was setting up spikes to catch 34-year-old Sammy Michael Swicky. Police were attempting to stop Swicky in connection with a drug investigation. Salt Lake City Police Department didn't release any more information about the injured trooper who fell off a highway overpass. Some city councils are now adding their voice to the choir condemning Utah State Board of Education member Natalie Klein. Mill Creek held a meeting last night. They agreed to a resolution calling for her resignation. Murray City Council's expected to do the same. KSL News Radio's Hugo Ricard-Bell has more. Hugo?
Jeff, KSL political consultant Taylor Morgan says this is all well and good, but it really is just performative at this stage.
When we're talking about Mill Creek City passing a resolution condemning Natalie Klein, that's something totally different. That is really purely a political move.
He says, however, there are city councils that could have some weight in this story.
If we saw that coming from cities in Natalie Klein's school board district, it is District 9, Harriman, South Jordan, Riverton. If we saw those cities passing these resolutions, that's where it could have more of an impact.
Taylor says at the end of the day, Klein could just weather this storm. She's up for re-election this year, and the last time she ran for the State Board of Education for her district, she won by 40%. Reporting live, Hugo Urquhart Bell, KSL News Radio.
Well, Utah's not the only state with a parental consent law for kids on social media. Ohio passed a law that requires consent, banning anyone younger than 16 unless the parents say it's okay to go on the social site. Now, federal judges blocked that law from taking effect, the judge ruling that the law violated minors' right to free speech. Agreeing with TikTok, X, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, this case is going to continue to wind its way through the federal courts. President Biden is urging the House to approve a new foreign aid bill. Maria Chaleos is live at the KSL National News Desk.
Jeff, President Biden says Ukraine urgently needs additional aid to fight the war brought on by Russian leader Vladimir Putin.
You can't walk away now. That's what Putin's betting on. Supporting this bill is standing up to Putin. Opposing it is playing into Putin's hands.
Speaker Mike Johnson has cast doubt on the package's passage, but House Democrats say they're ready to approve the bill right now. Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says Democrats are eager to send the bill to the president.
The overwhelming majority of House Democrats are ready, willing, and able to support the national security bill right now.
He says only MAGA Republicans oppose the measure. House Republicans are expected to take another crack tonight at impeaching Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. A vote last week failed because there weren't enough Republicans present. Republicans claim Mayorkas has intentionally failed to enforce immigration law and should be tried in the Senate for his removal. Democrats call it a political stunt and say the effort will fail in the Senate. And Mardi Gras celebrations that include marching bands are underway in New Orleans. The celebration commemorates the last day before the start of the Lenten season that leads into Easter. Live from the KSL National News Desk, I'm Maria Chaleos, KSL News Radio.
One person was injured and 9 puppies died in a basement fire Monday evening. North Salt Lake fire crews put out the basement fire in a duplex. Firefighters tried to resuscitate the puppies, but it was too late. A pet snake survived. There's no word how this duplex fire started. KSL News Time, 3:35. Now, let's get you home. First look traffic. Ricky Meese is here, so what's the deal?
Well, the delays that I reported just recently on SR 36 Main Street in Stansbury Park, we're now seeing it's actually a crash going southbound by Stansbury Park, and it's blocking a right lane. We also have an accident called out 7500 south, about 3800 west. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Thanks, Ricky. My minute's on the way next. Stay right here.
Hi, friends. Dan the Laptop Man here from PC Laptops. I get a lot of emails from people all the time. Here's one. Dear Dan, I hear your talk about a lifetime service guarantee. Free? Really? Please help me avoid all your fine print and be honest about what free means. You understand that we should be very wary of a free offer. Signed, Skeptical. Hi, Skeptical. I remember 22 years ago when we started PC Laptops and our lifetime service guarantee, people thought it was too good to be true. Well, after a decade, people started believing me a little bit. But it's been 22 years of having the privilege to serve our friends and neighbors like you. Our lifetime service guarantee has become the most trusted warranty in the industry. You can get a brand new PC Laptops desktop computer, and they start at only $29 a month. Check us out at PCLaptops.com. That's PCLaptops.com. Here's to seeing you soon, Skeptical.
Hi, this is Doug Wright. Everybody knows I'm a movie fan, but I have to tell you, when it comes to Fiddler on the Roof, I had never seen it before on stage. Hale Center Theater's production is spectacular, better than the movie. Absolutely loved it. And by the way, my wife, who's somewhat of an aficionado, she starred as Seidel in her performing arts college production of Fiddler on the Roof. She said, this is spectacular. You're going to love the choreography, and the staging is remarkable, and the tunes, the music is just overwhelming. It's wonderful. Plus, I've got to talk about one scene in particular. This is where Tevye brings back Grandma to convince the wife that Seidel shouldn't marry the guy she's going to marry. The use of the stage and the aerials is simply breathtaking.
Don't miss Fiddler on the Roof. It's playing right now at Hale Center Theater. Pick up your season tickets, gift cards, and more. Go to hct.org.
Join your friends who rely on KSL each morning for the fastest routes to work and school.
I like traffic on the 9s.
So I need to get the kids up earlier so that my son isn't driving quickly in a snowstorm.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s.
On KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time, 3:38 Tuesday afternoon. This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. When I think of country music, I think of Garth Brooks, Carrie Underwood, Tim McGraw, but Beyonce? During the Super Bowl, Beyonce dropped 2 singles from her next album, and they're straight-up country music.
This ain't Texas, ain't no hold'em, so lay your cards down, 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 down.
A warning, if you're going to listen on YouTube, there's an explicit version with a short video that would melt your children's eyeballs. Google Beyonce Texas Hold'em clean version, if so inclined. So what's this all about? Country would seem like a radical departure for Beyonce, right? For months now, she's been wearing a cowboy hat to signify that country music might be in her future. Beyonce is a Texas girl born and raised in Houston. To her credit, this song isn't about losing the girl, a dying dog, or a pickup truck. In her version of country, you're driving a Lexus. But this first song from the album is full of honky-tonk cliches, and it's meant for line dancing until the abrupt change toward the end.
Ooh, it's a real live boogie and a real live hold down. Don't be a come take it to the floor now. Ooh.
Whether you like hillbilly Beyonce or not, gutsy move on Sunday while Taylor Swift was getting all the attention. Beyonce grabbed some for herself.
Photogenic, shoot.
So is it country?
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
We'll leave that up to you, and we'll bring you traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Ricky Meese.
We do have delays, and this is southbound SR 36 Main Street in Tooele County due to a crash near Stansbury Park. It's been blocking a right lane of travel. On I-15 southbound in Salt Lake County, heavy and slow from 2100 to 3300 south. And again, Murray and Midvale as your drive home delays start to set in. After that, wide open and looking good all the way to Provo, clear on the rest of your Salt Lake County freeways. If you're exiting from I-15 to go westbound on 90th South, it is heavy and slow all the way over to Redwood Road. Michelle?
Well, we're seeing good speed still, looking really smooth as you're running northbound I-15 from Salt Lake all the way up to Brigham City. On the southbound side, we see a little bit of slowing now. This is going to be right around Riverdale Road in the Ogden area as you're approaching the Hill Aerospace Museum. For drivers that are in the Harrisville area, still looking at some slowdowns on some surface streets in that area as well. When you choose Performance Automotive in Bountiful, you're choosing selection. 4 locations: Performance Ford Lincoln, Performance Honda, Performance Toyota, and Truck Country. See it all. PerformanceBountiful.com. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Pretty easy going for your Tuesday. Mostly cloudy skies with a high of 48 this afternoon. Overnight, we dip off to 32. Tomorrow, 48 for your Valentine's and partly cloudy skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
It's 47 degrees. Lovely afternoon in Salt Lake City, and of course, Valentine's Day. And we're going to warn you about Valentine's Day love scams. Stay with us. Yes, they're still alive and happening here in Utah. It's coming up in just a few moments. We're streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com. We're on the KSL News Radio app. This is Utah's news, traffic, and weather station. It's 3:42.
First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. Oh,
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell.
If you're a dad who is facing divorce, there are extra layers of stress that may include stereotypes and assumptions. No two situations are the same. Our legal experience and dedication prepare us for whatever legal challenges we face together. You need a partner you can count on. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has represented men in divorce.
Offices in Midvale and Clearfield. 1412 South Legend Hills Drive, Suite 200, Clearfield, Utah, 84015. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try soon. Harry's is available online and in-store at a retailer near you. Get a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/news. That's harrys.com/news. Or check us out at your local Costco for a price you can't find anywhere else. Just look for the Chrome Razor with 13 blade refills at your local Costco. You can't miss it. Exclusive to Costco members.
If you're on the journey of building your dream home, remodeling, or just want to brighten up some rooms, let the Blind Man be your tour guide into the possibilities 2024 has to offer. Window coverings balance functionality and aesthetics by managing light and privacy effortlessly. Whether you seek a captivating design element, enhanced privacy, light-blocking solutions, or an infusion of natural light, the Blind Man's consultants are here to navigate you through the latest trends, tailoring them to complement your unique style. Motorized and automated roller shades have emerged as the preferred choice in 2024. This is driven by features such as the convenience they provide for hard-to-reach windows, providing safety for both children and pets, and contributing to energy efficiency. The Blind Man's experts would love to help you explore the options along your journey. Visit theblindman.com today to set up a free in-home consultation. Theblindman.com.
From Ogden to St. George, Utah's premier window covering provider, The Blind Man.
KSL News Time 3:45. The three things you need to know this hour first.
A Utah Highway Patrol officer is in serious condition after falling off an overpass at the 7200 West exit on I-80. I'm KSL News Radio's Hugo Ricard-Bell.
Second, the CDC is reportedly planning to drop its guidelines for COVID isolation. Right now, they suggest 5 days of quarantine, but the agency plans to recommend people stop isolating based on their symptoms. Third, our biggest traffic trouble spot.
A new accident in Utah County. It's southbound I-15 in American Fork, but already moved out of traffic to the shoulder. And delays southbound SR 36 Main Street in Tooele County. This is due to a crash at Stansbury Park. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Drive for the next 2, then we bring in some rain. I'm Matt Johnson.
47 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios now. Our top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The House could take up a vote tonight, but not on the Senate-passed foreign aid bill for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. Instead, a second attempt to impeach Homeland Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas.
It's a planned do-over following last week's narrow and unexpected defeat. Assuming no one's votes change, perfect attendance would be required for Republicans to get impeachment over the goal line this time. The Biden administration calls the charges against Mayorkas baseless and impeachment a political stunt.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
And that was ABC News. Time now for the KSL In-Depth. Yes, scammers are taking advantage of Valentine's Day to not only break your bank account, but in some cases your heart as well. Shohini Sinha is a special agent in charge of the Salt Lake City FBI, joining me live now to talk about the rise in these romance scams. So how bad is it here in Utah?
Well, it's bad, Jeff. Over 200 Utahns in 2022 lost more than $3.5 million to romance scams. That's a lot of people and a whole heck of a lot of money.
Go ahead, please. Continue.
Oh, I was going to say nationwide, there are over 19,000 victims, and reported losses in 2022 were more than $735 million.
Is the profile for these victims lonely people holding out hope that this is the romance they've been waiting for, except they discover it's not.
Yes and no. So certainly lonely people are more vulnerable. And many of the victims are over 40. Frequently, they're divorced or widowed, possibly elderly, or even have a disability. But nobody's immune. And these scammers are highly skilled, and they will seek out people from all walks of life.
So what advice would you give somebody who's starting up an online relationship?
Well, definitely start slowly. Research the person's photo and profile using online search tools. And the bottom line, honestly, if people do nothing else, is never send money to someone you have not met in person.
It's hard because you have to be ice cold. You're developing a relationship with someone, and my mother is so sick, or whatever scam they use, and your heart bleeds for them, and you open it along with your wallet. You're telling people they have to remain ice cold.
No, not ice cold, just cautious. So really, in the old days, before the internet, we were cautious in different ways, perhaps. But now we have to add an extra layer of caution because we can't check people out kind of with our own eyes. The world has gotten so much bigger. So not ice cold, just careful.
If you have slick operators out there, have they prepared for when you search their profiles and try to learn about them? They've created fake personas that you can't penetrate?
That certainly is possible, but an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure in this case. And certainly if people suspect that they are interacting with a scammer in a possible romance scam, we would strongly encourage them to report that to law enforcement or the FBI. They can go to our website at ic3.gov to file a report or get more resources at fbi.gov.
Not the ideal way to spend a Valentine's Day, but it's very useful information. And while we have you here, when you break up one of these networks, if you catch a scammer, what kind of penalties do they face?
Well, recently there was a Provo woman. She was the third and final defendant, and she was just sentenced to 6 years in prison for her role in a romance scam. And most of the victims in this particular scam were elderly.
Well, I hope you have a very nice Valentine's Day. We appreciate you warning everybody. Shohini Sinha from the Salt Lake City FBI office, we appreciate it. KSL News Time 3:50. Now, traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Ricky Meese.
A small accident southbound I-15 near 5th East American Fork in Utah County. Everybody out of traffic on the right shoulder. In fact, we have a delay-free drive both directions of I-15 for Utah County. In Salt Lake County, though, we do have traffic that's a little bunched up and slow right about 2100 south on southbound I-15, and then our usual delays setting in between 5300 and 7200 south. A little bit of traffic building eastbound on I-80 between Bangalore and the West Belt, as well as westbound on the 21st South Freeway approaching 7200 west. Our other issue is an accident in Tooele County, southbound Main Street SR 36 at Stansbury Park on the right, and it is backing traffic in the area. Michelle?
Running smoothly northbound I-15 from Salt Lake all the way to the Utah-Idaho border. If you're headed southbound, though, again, we're seeing some slowdowns going through the Riverdale area in Ogden. If you're on Legacy or I-215, that's also looking good. Two Brothers Mattresses, your locally owned Serta mattress dealer, President's Day sale happening now at all Two Brothers Mattress locations and online at twobrothersmattress.com. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast has 2 days with rain chances. Today is dry, mostly cloudy, 48. Keep it at 48 tomorrow, partly cloudy. How about some rain showers, especially Thursday morning, 46 the high by the afternoon. Friday, partly cloudy, 47, up to 50 though on Saturday with partly cloudy skies. Sunday, rain showers, 49. President's Day, 53 and mostly cloudy. From the KSL Weather Center,
I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now in Salt Lake City, 47 degrees. Your 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. We'll check on the markets. It was not a great day. We'll tell you all about it in just a moment.
Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News, only on KSL News Radio.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333. Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
When was the last time you gave your carpet the love and attention it really deserves? Not only is your carpet one of the biggest investments in your home, but it's also the biggest air filter in your home. If your carpet hasn't been professionally cleaned, you're breathing in all sorts of nasty dirt, dander, and germs that keep recirculating again and again. Lucky for you, Zero Res is going to spread the love to you and your home with their February special. Don't think vacuuming or DIYing will suffice. Call the pros. Zero Res has over 7,400 Google reviews with a 4.8 rating. This month, it's $33 per room cleaned, plus a fourth room free with promo code 4FREE24. And don't forget about your air ducts. Take $50 off your air duct cleaning with promo code CLEAN-AIR. Call ZeroRes, 866-ZERO-RES, or online at ZeroRes.com and say you want the KSL special, ZeroRes. Spelled backwards or forwards, it's the right way to clean.
Okay, that's good. Whoa, Dave!
Sorry, I'll go grab some paper towels.
You can't let Dave pour things. He works at JCW's. They fill stuff up past the brim over there, like their milkshakes. They're thick, rich, and oh my gosh.
Delicious?
Oh no. Dave's filling up Crystal's car for her.
Dave, stop!
Hey, this is Clark for JCW. Stop into any of our 5 locations today. We're located in American Fork, Thanksgiving Point, Provo, South Jordan, and our new location in Harriman. Come in and see why at JCW's we believe in quality and a lot of it.
We're watching Utah's Money at KSL, brought to you by Utah First Credit Union. Stocks took a dive today. Inflation was slightly worse than expected last month, and traders sensitive to the slightest signs of inflation sent the market sprawling. The NASDAQ bore the brunt of the sell-off, losing 1.8% of its values. How about the Super Bowl ratings? Most watched television broadcast in history. 123 million people tuned in, 8 million more than last year's big game between the Chiefs and Eagles. Taylor Swift, apparently the difference. KSL News Time, 3:56 on Wall Street. By the numbers, the Dow down 524 points, the S&P lost 68, the NASDAQ down 286. Time now for Cougar Tracks. Here's KSL Sports BYU insider Mitch Harper.
BYU gets their first repeat Big 12 opponent tonight when they host the UCF Knights. The 19th-ranked Cougars, who moved up 2 spots in the AP poll this week, faced UCF a month ago in Orlando in a game that was ruled by defense in a 63-58 BYU win. Head coach Mark Pope expects more of the same tonight against the Knights.
What a team. My gosh. It's like a slugfest. And they're doing an unbelievable job. They've done a great job moving into the Big 12. They've had huge wins. They're ridiculously physical and athletic. Johnny is a great coach and a better human being, and I love him. And so it's going to be all-out war, just like every game is in this league.
BYU versus UCF tips off at 7 p.m. with pregame coverage starting at 6 right here on KSL and the KSL News Radio app. With Cougar Tracks, I'm Mitch Harper on your legacy home of the BYU Cougars. KSL News Radio.
Brought to you by Central Bank CB Vault, Utah's help center for startups and entrepreneurs. Visit cbutah.com.
Are you a startup, entrepreneur, or business owner looking for funding?
Look no further than Central Bank's CB Vault, Utah's help center for startups and entrepreneurs. CB Vault understands the unique challenges faced by business owners. CB Vault is here to help you start, grow, or thrive with a dedicated help center for startups and entrepreneurs, providing personalized financial solutions, networking, and guidance for every step of the way. With a range of services tailored for startups and small businesses and expert financial advice to flexible loan options, CB Vault helps you get funding and allows you to keep your equity. Whether you're seeking funding, planning expansion, or navigating the financial landscape, CB Vault's team of experts is ready to assist you in turning your vision into reality. Don't let financial barriers hold you back. Central Bank's CB Vault is here to unlock your business potential. Visit CB Vault today at cbutah.com. Central Bank, voted best bank in Utah Valley. Strong, local, secure. Since 1891. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
KSL News Time, 3:59. Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Ricky Meese.
A little busy and slow southbound I-15, Salt Lake County from just after 1300 south, almost to 33rd south. And then the usual delays for your drive home setting in from 45th South Murray into Midvale. After that, you're good to go with good speeds. But we do have an accident in the cleanup stages southbound I-15, 5th East American Fork on the right. Michelle?
Well, you're going to be touching the brakes just a little bit northbound I-15 through the Rose Park and North Salt Lake area, making your way to around the right the refineries. Once you get past that, you're seeing good speeds northbound all the way to the border. Southbound I-15, a little slow, going through Riverdale. Need a perfect event venue? There's a place. This is the place, Heritage Park. Ideal for wedding events, featuring 11 venues, beautiful grounds, affordability for any celebration. Call or visit thisistheplace.org. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
It's going to be partly cloudy tonight. We're headed down to 32 degrees. Then we get a partly cloudy Valentine's Day with a warm, loving 48 degrees. Rain is expected on Thursday. It's 3:59.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good afternoon, 4 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Jeff Caplan, 46 degrees, KSL's top story. A Utah Highway Patrol trooper is in serious but stable condition after a terrible accident in the line of duty. It all started with a car chase in Salt Lake City. KSL News Radio's Hugo Ricardel has been working the story through the day, and he's joining us live with details. Hugo?
Jeff, police say the suspect is 34-year-old Sammy Michael Swicky. After fleeing the scene where the state trooper fell off the overpass, he was apprehended by police at the Comfort Inn just down the road. Front desk worker Irasima Barazar saw the whole thing.
The officers came in. They said, "Hey, did you see someone coming in and running?" And I was like, "No." Then they go in the back, and that's when I just saw them all land on top of someone through the door. It looked like he was putting up a fight for sure.
I've been looking into the court records of Sammy Swicky, and it would seem that he has an extensive criminal history dating back to 2008, with charges involving drugs as well as failure to respond to police. The highway patrol officer is still in hospital in a serious but stable condition. Reporting live, Hugo Ricardel, KSL News Radio.
Thanks, Hugo. A judge has put a hearing to get an execution warrant for Ralph Menzies on hold. The court wants to find out if Menzies is mentally competent before they'd sign off on the warrant. Menzies' lawyers argue that he has dementia and no longer understands why he'd be executed. The Utah Department of Health and Human Services will appoint 2 medical examiners to confirm Menzies' mental state. Students in Logan got a surprise wake-up call this morning when a mountain lion wandered onto campus. Hello. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla here.
The mountain lion was first spotted lounging in a tree near the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum. Responding officers say it was about 4 feet long and very fast. Logan City Police Department Chief Jeff Simmons says they got word out as soon as possible.
Alerts were put out for the students of both the elementary schools and the college there just to be aware and to drive the elementary school kids to school so that there wouldn't be any danger.
Police looped in the Division of Wildlife Resources, and they were later able to tranquilize and move the cougar. Stocks took a nosedive over new inflation numbers. Maria Chaleos is live at the KSL National News Desk.
Jeff, stocks fell sharply because investors now envision interest rates will stay high for months longer than they were hoping. Chief market strategist B. Riley Wealth's Art Hogan says the new data shows it's still going to take some time to recover from the pandemic.
It just proves out that while inflation's heading in the right direction, it's not going to get there in a straight line.
The Dow dropped 524 points, or 1.4%. The NASDAQ, which has been flirting with its all-time high, sank 1.8%. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has left the hospital after being admitted to the intensive care unit at Walter Reed Medical Center earlier this week. He was being treated for a bladder issue. The CDC is expected to relax its COVID isolation guidelines for the first time since 2021. Washington Post is reporting Americans who test positive for the coronavirus would no longer need to stay home from work and school for 5 days. Instead, if they've been fever-free for at least 24 hours without the aid of medication and their symptoms are mild and improving, they no longer need to stay home. Snow in the Northeast and a flight attendant strike affecting the nation's airports today. In Atlanta, picketers chanted, "Disrespected, deceived, and devalued." Thousands of flight attendants have taken to the picket lines across the country demanding higher pay and better working conditions. Weather also causing more than 1,200 flights to be delayed. Live from the KSL National News Desk, I'm Maria Chaleos, KSL News Radio.
The state's second largest food bank needs food now. Jessica Miller with the Provo Food Bank says they have less than a month's supply of food to distribute, and they don't just need food.
Diapers, toothpaste, toilet paper, those toiletries that are pretty essential.
Miller says there's usually a reserve of 1 million pounds of food, but currently the reserve's only 200,000 pounds. It's hoped that food drives like the one planned by the Boy Scouts of America will help fill the empty shelves. There could be more affordable child care programs in Utah. A bill that would offer more services is moving on to the Senate floor.
This bill would work to turn existing state-owned buildings into high-quality child care facilities. At least 25% of the employees must be parents of young children, and at least 40% of the children at the center must be from low-income or military families. Bill sponsor Senator Luz Escamilla says they already have a lot of support.
This bill was supported by the Women in the Economy Subcommittee and supported by the Economic Opportunity Commission that is chaired by the governor, the Speaker, and the President of the Senate.
If signed into law, this bill would take effect on May 1st. Alessandra Harris, KSL News Radio.
More Utah parents might be eligible for a child tax credit. The bill's sponsor, Representative Susan Pulsifer, tells David Dujanovic last year parents with toddlers were able to get $1,000 through the tax credit, but she wants to expand the age range.
And this year, we're expanding that to include 4 and 5-year-olds. And that goes to the families, and families can use that to however they choose to.
Under the same bill, unlicensed daycare facilities will be able to look after 8 kids instead of 6. KSL News Time 4:06, and it's time for First Look Traffic. Ricky Meese is here, so what you got?
Delays setting in Weber County, but it's on the southbound side of I-15 from 31st Street in Ogden down to 5600 South Roy. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Thanks, Ricky. My minute's on the way next. Stay right here.
Can we talk about something difficult to discuss? Are you going through a difficult financial time? You have equity in your home, but nobody can help. I'm Jason Erskine with American Home Loans, and we have created the Bridge Loan Program to use your equity regardless of your credit at this time. The bridge loan can be used to pay debts, collections, IRS liens, divorce settlement, or just simply improve your property. Give us a call at 801-262-2221. This loan creates a bridge between now and a much brighter future. During COVID, one of our clients had over $85,000 on credit cards. Their scores were too low to borrow on their home. We were able to save them $2,000 a month, and after 8 months, they qualified for a conventional loan and improved their situation. Look, the consultation is free. Please let us see what we can do for you. Call 801-262-2221. That's 801-262-2221. Or go to AmericanHomeLoans.com. That's AmericanHomeLoans.com.
NMLS 245422, Equal Housing Lender.
If you've ever experienced running out of hot water before your shower was done, or hard water spots on dishes and fixtures, I've got a deal you might be interested in. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and you probably already know that a tankless water heater and a water softener solve both issues. If you've ever thought about looking into getting a tankless water heater, here's the deal I was talking about. Through the end of February, we're including a free water softener with every new tankless water heater we install. The best part of this deal might be that you never have to worry about being the last one to the shower again, or that you don't have to waste the money keeping 40 to 50 gallons of water hot 24/7. To take advantage of this deal, call Any Hour Services before the end of February. The visit's free and there's no obligation to buy. If you decide to have us install a new tankless water heater, we'll throw in the water softener for free. That's right, a free water softener when you purchase a tankless water heater. Pick up the phone and call Any Hour Services right now for all the details. 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Spend time with KSL News Radio and get a deeper understanding of the world around us.
I do listen to KSL so much because you've got voices like Boyd Matheson.
I listen to him every day.
You can trust him.
Inside Sources, weekdays 1 to 3.
On KSL News Radio.
This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. This one's for parents whose 27-year-olds live at home. 40% of people aged 25 to 34 live with their parents. The problem is, these millennials have to break all the rules. The first one, financial websites say by age 30 you should have $55,000 saved. That's according to CNBC, The Motley Fool, MarketWatch, all of them. But I don't know a single 30-year-old with that kind of money in the bank. Not a one. Older folks grumble these kids are buying too many mocha lattes and chai teas, and yes, they do chase experiences, which we used to call going on vacation, but if you work full-time, shouldn't you be able to afford a little vacation? Fact is, the cost of housing is now an insane, budget-busting, back-breaking lift.
But there's not a lot I can do.
Which brings us to another rule they're breaking. Those who bravely leave behind their teary-eyed moms and dads and venture into the world can expect to drop up to 50% of their paychecks just to have a roof over their heads. We're not talking about an opulent home, just a roof. Up to half their money goes toward having 800 square feet to call their own, but the financial websites spin the financial fantasy that they should be buying a mix of stocks, bonds, and commodities. But another rule: when you invest, don't put all your eggs in one basket. But with rent high as it is, they can't afford eggs. And Mom, that's why you make them for your 27-year-old every morning.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
On to traffic and weather together. We're brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Ricky Meese.
Your drive home on southbound I-15 for Salt Lake County drivers, it's bogged down from 4500 South Murray to just past 72nd South Midvale. We're clearing out on the rest of your Salt Lake County freeways. Some slowing and busy traffic westbound 114th South from I-15 to Redwood Road. And the final cleanup of a crash at 7500 South, about 3800 West. Mark?
You got a wreck in American Fork that just pulled away on I-15, and it has not been very heavy on I-15 in Utah County. In fact, right now I don't see any delays. That won't last very long. Out west into Tooele County, SR 36, that's not even backed up despite a wreck at Stansbury Park. At last check was in your right lane, and the big three out west through West Valley look lighter than normal. Bangerter, Mountain View, and 5600 West. Michelle.
Well, we're looking quite busy on Foothill Drive. This is between University of Utah and I-80. Also, if you're making your way northbound I-15, just bunching up a little bit as you're going from Morrow's Park toward North Salt Lake, looking free and clear all the way to the Utah-Idaho border. After that, southbound I-15, also some slowing as you're approaching 31st Street in Ogden. Hunt Utah's biggest bucks and bulls for just $5. It's the Western Hunting and Conservation Expo in Salt Lake City, February 15th through to the 18th. Go to huntexpo.com for details. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Pretty easy going for your Tuesday. Mostly cloudy skies with a high of 48 this afternoon. Overnight, we dip off to 32. Tomorrow, 48 for your Valentine's and partly cloudy skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
46 degrees. They're adding new words to the dictionary. We're going to talk with ABC's Alex Stone in just a few moments. We're streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com. We're on the KSL News Radio app. This is Utah's news, traffic, and weather station. This portion of the show is brought to you by America First Credit Union. Joining us live for a free Money Minute, America First's Dave Nellis. And Dave, Congratulations, you had a commercial on the most viewed television broadcast in American history, the Super Bowl Sunday.
It was a great commercial, and if you haven't seen it, we encourage you to go out there. We got a talking Lincoln $5 bill, and he's giving you some good money sense.
It actually was a really cute commercial. I took notice, and I was like, who's this for? And then the America First came down. I'm like, the local guys. That's awesome. So congratulations on that. But what you said, a free money minute is what we're going to do here. Tell me about this.
Well, there's lots of ways that you can use rates to your advantage. And right now we know rates are high. And so whether you're dealing with a house or a car loan or a business loan, it makes sense to find a better rate. And
so do you offer better rates?
We offer better rates just because of the nature of being a credit union. And so when you look at our competitors, it's always good to shop for a rate.
Okay, but when you're talking about the difference between, say, 6.68% and 6.71%, does it really make that much of a difference?
Rates make a difference. So let's say you get an auto loan for 6.99 and the competitors may be offering something closer to 8. Let's say it's a $20,000 car. Over the life of that 5-year loan, you could be saving about $2,000.
Something I've always been curious about. Do you think it's better to do your shopping on the internet, or is it better to walk into a bank, meet your banker, and do business face-to-face?
I think a combination of both of those approaches certainly works, but we would love to have you come into America First and give us a try, and we think if you come in, you're likely going to stay.
What should you bring with you if you're going to be applying for a loan?
Bring your identification, bring a little cash so you can make a deposit, set yourself up.
AmericaFirst.com, that's the place. Just visit their website or visit a branch, America First Credit Union, and they'll help your money do more. Thanks a lot, Dave.
When was the last time you gave your carpet the love and attention it really deserves? Not only is your carpet one of the biggest investments in your home, but it's also the biggest air filter in your home. If your carpet hasn't been professionally cleaned, you're breathing in all sorts of nasty dirt, dander, and germs that keep recirculating again and again. Lucky for you, Zero Res is going to spread the love to you and your home with their February special. Don't think vacuuming or DIYing will suffice. Call the pros. Zero Res has over 7,400 Google reviews with a 4.8 rating. This month, it's $33 per room cleaned, plus a 4th room free with promo code 4FREE24. And don't forget about your air ducts. Take $50 off your air duct cleaning with promo code CLEAN-AIR. Call Zero Res, 866-ZERO-RES, or online at zerores.com and say you want the KSL special, Zero Res. Spelled backwards or forwards, it's the right way to clean.
KSL News Time, 4:15. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
the consumer price index rose higher last month than economists were expecting, and even higher in western states like here in Utah. I'm KSL News Radio's Amy Kobe.
Second, an update on the 2 pilots who went down in that West Jordan chopper crash yesterday. One of the Apache pilots was released from the hospital last night. The other still in the hospital in stable condition. Third, our biggest traffic trouble spot.
A stalled vehicle at the top of the on-ramp to northbound I-15 at 146 South in the left lane of travel. And then we have your usual delays southbound on Foothill going from the U down to I-80. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Partly cloudy skies, temperatures back above normal, and the trend continues. I'm Kevin Eubank.
46 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios now. Our top national stories.
News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The Republican-led House could take up another attempted vote on articles of impeachment against Homeland Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas over his handling of the border. But the House Speaker says he doesn't plan to bring a vote to the floor on the Senate-passed foreign aid package for Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, and Taiwan. President Biden urging Congress to act and also criticizing his predecessor.
President Biden slammed former President Donald Trump, saying he gave an invitation to Vladimir Putin to invade NATO allies.
No other president in our history has ever bowed down to a Russian dictator. Well, let me say this as clearly as I can. I never will. For God's sake, it's dumb, it's shameful, it's dangerous, it's un-American.
The president said the House passing the $95 billion foreign aid bill would show allies the U.S. can be trusted and will not bow to Putin. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin could be released from the hospital later today. The Pentagon says Austin was hospitalized Sunday and treated at Walter Reed for a bladder issue. It follows his prostate cancer surgery in December. An unexpected rise in the consumer price index leading to a major sell-off today on Wall Street. The consumer price index up 0.3% in January from December. That could delay the Federal Reserve cuts to interest rates. Art Hogan is chief market strategist at B. Riley Wealth.
The market participants had gotten used to the slow and steady decline in prices and inflation, and today upset the apple cart a little bit.
The Dow lost more than 540 points. The Northeast digging out after a fast-moving winter storm. It shuttered schools and led to some 1,200 flight cancellations. Celebrations today for Fat Tuesday. In New Orleans, hundreds line the streets for the annual Mardi Gras parade. The Day of Indulgence leads to the start of Lent tomorrow. You're listening to ABC News.
And time for the KSL in-depth question for you. Ever had a girl dinner? Did your boyfriend give you the ick the other day? If you're not sure what these words mean, do not worry. Starting today, you can get the definition at dictionary.com. Joining me live, ABC News correspondent Alex Stone. So we have new dictionary words, Alex.
We do, and every year, Jeff, the dictionaries, they add in new words that are in the vocabulary and the lexicon of the world, and there are about 320 that have been added this year. Many of them have roots on TikTok, that whether you like TikTok or not, that it's having an impact on how we speak as a society. So girl dinner, any idea what that is?
No, I don't know. I know what girl math is. I don't know what a girl dinner is.
Well, I want to know what that is. But girl dinner is an often attractively presented collection of snacks involving little preparation, small quantities of cold cuts, cheese, fruit, cherry tomatoes, deemed sufficient to constitute a meal for one. I would say that's a charcuterie platter, but according to the dictionary now, a girl dinner coming off of a TikTok trend of last year is a little plate of all these little things.
I would call it bird food.
Well, there's that too.
That's me.
Bussin'. This is something my son said the other day, and I said, "What did you say?" And my wife said, "Just go with it. This is what they say now." Bussin' is on there. A new Gen Z term. It means great, wonderful, amazing. Comes from bust, meaning to explode, to do well, or to enjoy. And because you brought it up, the ick. That is a sudden feeling of disgust or dislike, often in response to the actions of another person. It goes back to TikTok as well. 327 new words coming into the dictionary this year.
So, wait, the proper usage would be like, Kevin Eubank gives me the ick.
Yeah,
like
I think that works.
He just walked into the studio. I had to.
Or bussin'. You know what, Jeff? You're so bussin'.
And it's bussin'. It's not bustin'.
No, bussin'. B-U-S-S-I-N apostrophe.
Thank you for keeping me up to speed, ABC News correspondent Alex Stone. We appreciate it. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes. We're brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Ricky Meese is bussin'.
Oh, thank you. Well, for those southbound on I-15, the usual delays, then they're pretty heavy now from 4500 South Murray almost to 90th South Sandy. Now on the northbound side of I-15, though, we do have some busy traffic, a little slow, no major delays, but definitely not at the posted limit, going from 2100 South to the 6 South exit. And then if you're traveling westbound on the 201, you're clear from I-15 to 5600 West. Gets bogged down after that. A little bit of busy traffic on the eastbound side approaching I-215's West Belt. Mark?
Well, you will definitely notice it if you are in the area of Main Street, US 189 at 1300 South in Heber City. That is a crash right in the intersection, and there's an ambulance assisting. Out other side, Tooele County, a right lane was blocked southbound SR 36 around Stansbury Park, but I do not see a big backup there, and it just looks normal. Delays through West Valley on Mountain View 5600 West, Bangerter Highway. Michelle.
Well, you're hitting those brakes on Foothill Drive. This is going from the University of Utah down to I-80 for drivers making their way out of downtown northbound I-15. Slow and go traffic stopping up all the way into North Salt Lake. Then you're free and clear all the way up to Brigham City. On the flip side, those delays around Riverdale Road in Ogden, they have cleared out quite nicely. Call 8660-RES and say you want the KSL special, $33 per room cleaned and $50 off air duct cleaning. 0-RES. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Your 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. Kevin Eubank is here, and we get this warm weather, and first thing I wonder is this air safe to breathe, or do we have an inversion?
No, it actually is pretty nice out there. We do have a few areas that have flipped over into the moderate category, but all in all, it's just mild temperatures. Our normal this time of year is 44. We're going to 48. 48. We've been there today. We'll do it again tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies. A little bit of clouds increasing tomorrow night ahead of a storm that'll move in Thursday. It'll bring some valley rain and mountain snow to northern and central Utah, but it isn't going to drop temperatures all that much. We stay in the upper 40s for the entire week, low 50s as we roll through President's Day weekend. Little bit of rain on Sunday across northern Utah, then a chance for a little bit more rain on Tuesday, but Monday the holiday kind of bookends in the middle, not bad.
Could you check the crystal ball? Any snow off in the distance that you see?
Yes, there will be snow off in the distance. I can see it.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome, Jeff.
Appreciate it. It's 47 degrees. KSL News Time 422.
If there's a problem during your siding, gutter, or window installation project, most contractors will try to hide it, ignore it, or blame someone else. It's called passing the buck or turning a blind eye, or my favorite, finger pointing. My question is, where is the accountability? Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors, and look, sometimes problems just happen, no matter who you hire. Maybe the wrong color siding gets delivered, despite the order being placed perfectly, or maybe a downspout gets cut short. Honestly, it could be anything. At RGS Exteriors, mistakes are rare, but if something goes wrong, I can absolutely, positively, 100% guarantee you we'll never hide it, and we'll never pass the buck. We'll make certain everything turns out right for you. That's people over profits. That's the RGS Exteriors way. For a free estimate on siding, gutters, or windows, call 801-280-3110, rgsexteriors.com, rgsexteriors.com.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt, yeah!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt, yeah!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online. Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Get ready. This week, Staples has deals so good, you're going to want to sit down. Are you sitting? I'll wait. Great. Right now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $180 on select chairs. That's up to $180 off desk chairs, up to $180 off computer chairs, and up to $180 off gaming chairs. So hurry into Staples now for the Staples Sit-a-thon and grab a seat or two. Ends 3/2. In-store only. See associate for details.
For John's 60th birthday, his family planned to drive down Old Route 66. But the trip took a detour when his wife got sick with RSV. It's a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems and hospitalizations.
This year, we don't want to cancel our plans. We're protecting ourselves with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine.
Abrysvo, a vaccine to prevent lower respiratory disease from RSV in people 60 years and older. It's not for everyone and may not protect all who receive it. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had an allergic reaction to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may decrease your response. Most common side effects are tiredness, headache, injection site pain, and muscle pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com.
So don't wait. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, because every breath matters.
It's time for the Sportsman's Vacation and RV Show, February 16th through the 19th at the Mountain America Expo. Save $2 at UtahRVShow.com.
We're watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Utah First Credit Union. Paramount just announced it's laying off 800 employees immediately after streaming the most viewed Super Bowl ever. Paramount, which owns CBS, is cutting costs. Wall Street today, rough day. The Dow down 524 points. The S&P down 68. Look at the NASDAQ, down 286 points today. It's 426. This portion of the show is brought to you by America First Credit Union. Joining us live with a free Money Minute, America First's Dave Nellis. So, Dave, a free Money Minute. What do we mean by this?
Well, Jeff, we all know that Utahns are savers, but we know that those spring break trips just don't pay for themselves. And so if you want to save some money for a trip, we've got some great tips for you.
Okay, so share some tips. We have a moment.
Yeah. So it's called a dedicated savings, where you can start out with a zero balance, but let's say you put $1,000 in this and say, this is for our trip. And every paycheck you put in $250. At the rates that we have going on today, after that 12-month period and you're ready to go on your trip, you're going to have an extra $200.
And that's going to help along, pay for a couple of meals, really nice meals, while you're on vacation.
Right? It's going to be great.
What else do you have?
Well, in addition to those dedicated savings, you can plan to save for things. I have several of these myself where you're going to maybe plan for school tuition or buying those new tires or pay for Christmas. You can set up multiple of these dedicated savings and plan, out in advance when you're going to need that money.
The idea is you're training to yourself that this is money you're not going to be touching until the designated usage comes along.
Right. And we all know that we have those specific times where we need that money. Why not put it in, get a better interest rate, make your money work for you?
Well, that's what everybody wonders about, the interest rates. So how are they? Generally market, above market? Where do you land?
Well, if you saw the Super Bowl ad yesterday, you will know that we have a great CD rate of 5.5%.
You also had talking Abraham Lincoln on a $5 bill, so it was an impressive commercial.
You got to trust the president.
So what does anybody have to do to get involved with America First Credit Union? Just walk in the door? Can you do it online?
Come into any one of our branches. We got great representatives. They'll be happy to help you. Go to americafirst.com. If you've already a member, go open up a CD or a dedicated savings.
It's a free money in a minute. It took only a minute to learn all that, right? Visit America First Credit Union. They're going to help your money do more. americafirst.com. KSL News Time, 4:29. Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Here's Ricky Meese.
Spots of heavy and slow traffic southbound I-15, broken up and scattered between 4500 South and 123rd South in Draper. Northbound I-15 getting busy and slow, approaching the Bangerter Highway exit in Draper. Then more heavy and slower traffic northbound I-15 South Salt Lake to downtown. And then a little bit of busy traffic westbound on the 201 approaching the West Belt and passing 5600 West. Mark?
Oh, it's getting ugly on SR 36, really between SR 138 Stansbury Park and 10th North. It looks very slow on the southbound commute. That's again down SR 36. Out west, things look good on the big three. I-15 in Utah County, not seeing any major delays. Michelle?
Well, we're still seeing some slowdowns for drivers. If you're making your way northbound I-15, you're going to see that slow and go traffic all the way up to North Salt Lake. Once you get past that, you're seeing good speeds northbound I-15. We're also seeing good conditions if you're making your way southbound. This is going from Ogden all the way down to the capital city. But if you're on Highway 89, looking at a little bit of slowing as you're headed down toward I-84. Don't let tax problems ruin your life. Let Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox handle the IRS so you don't have to. Visit taxhelput.com. That's taxhelput.com. Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
You're listening to Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News
on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM
and 1160 AM.
Good afternoon, 4:30 at KSL. Jeff Kaplan here. We're at 47 degrees. KSL's top story. Prices for pretty much everything are still rising, and it's worse in western states. KSL News Radio's Amy Kobabe reports.
This came as a surprise to many economists who thought it would be a much lower number. Of course, it is lower than that 8% we've had in previous months, but DMBA financial planner Shane Stewart says this means the Fed will likely wait a bit longer before lowering interest rates, meaning more expensive homes and car loans for even longer.
Shane Stewart suggests the best way to wait out this inflation is to plan and be aware of your spending habits. KSL News Time, 4:31. We have breaking news at KSL News Radio. The principal and assistant principal at Edgemont Elementary School are on paid administrative leave. The Provo City School District won't offer any more details on why, because this is an active investigation. The district had to appoint an interim principal, and we'll bring you more information as soon as it becomes available about the Provo City School District and Edgemont Elementary School. KSL News Time, 4:32. Some city councils are joining the public condemnation of Utah State Board of Ed member Natalie Klein. Mill Creek voted last night. The city council signed a resolution calling for her resignation. Murray City Council expected to do the same. KSL News Radio's Hugo Ricard-Bell is live with details. Hugo.
Jeff, KSL political consultant Taylor Morgan says this feels good, but in reality, there's no real impact to the future of Natalie Klein.
What she did was so obviously bad and terrible that now it has turned into a political opportunity for anyone and everyone to come in and dunk on Natalie Klein.
He says when the state legislature or Governor Cox weighs in, though, on an issue like this, that does actually carry a lot more importance.
Those branches of government are on the same level, so to speak, as the Utah State's Board of Education. And they, I think, have a more impactful voice when it comes to Natalie Klein.
Natalie Klein is up for re-election this year. Last time she ran for the State Board of Education for her district, she won by a landslide, 40%. Reporting live, Hugo Cardbell, KSL News Radio.
The CDC reportedly has plans to change its COVID recommendations. Listen to this. Right now, the CDC recommends if you test positive, you have to isolate for 5 days. The Washington Post reports the agency plans to recommend that people end their quarantine when their symptoms improve and they've been fever-free for 24 hours. We're going to go in depth with a University of Utah health expert live in about 10 minutes. The Biden administration is putting pressure on the House to approve a foreign aid bill. Maria Chaleos is live at the KSL National News Desk.
Jeff, the administration is putting a full court press on the House to pass the already approved Senate aid. Pentagon spokesperson Sabrina Singh today echoed the warning from the State Department and President.
Our allies and our adversaries are watching to see whether the U.S. will continue to stand with Ukraine, to stand with Taiwan, to stand with Israel.
House Democrats say they are ready to approve the emergency aid. Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffrey says they'll do all they can to get it to the president.
All options are on the table. We're going to utilize every available legislative tool.
The House Speaker has already said he won't take a vote on the measure. Meantime, the Republican-controlled House is set to try again and impeach the Homeland Security Secretary today. Speaker Mike Johnson once said one-party impeachment is bad for the country, but he'll try to do just that again with Secretary Mayorkas.
Mayorkas is an exceptional case in U.S. history.
House Republicans failed by one vote the last time, but the one vote, Steve Scalise, is back from cancer treatment and is ready to vote yes. And New York residents are voting in a special election being held to replace George Santos, who was kicked out of Congress in December. This voter says the most important thing is to not repeat the mistakes made last time.
Sanity, improvements, right direction.
Voters are choosing between Democrat Tom Suozzi, who served in Congress before Santos, and Republican Maisie Pillip, a former county official. Live from the KSL National News Desk, I'm Maria Chaleos, KSL News Radio.
Some Utah moms rallied at the state capitol this morning, urging national lawmakers to grant temporary protected status to Ecuadorian immigrants. Senior campaign director for Moms Rising, Linda Stone, says this would affect thousands of immigrants in Utah.
Doctors, we are construction workers, we are essential workers, we are teachers. We have been here for more than 30 years. Utah is our home.
Linda Stone says granting immigrants protected status will benefit the economy and allow them to find better jobs. KSL News Time, 4:35. Let's get you going toward home. We have First Look Traffic. Ricky Meese is here. So how are we doing?
Another problem for Tooele County drivers, and again, it's on Main Street, SR 36. It's a crash on southbound SR 36 at Erta Way, and it has closed the southbound lanes of travel. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Coming up, you're going to meet an unlikely good old country girl. My Minute of News is on the way next. Stay right here. It's 4:36.
I'm not feeling too good myself.
Nobody loves their furnace. The poor thing burns with a passion that provides the kind of warmth that romantic candlelight can only dream of. That furnace is faithfully there for you 24/7 until it's not. And that's when you need the Love Muffins from Any Hour Services to provide the tender care that keeps your relationship with your furnace warm, but never too hot or too cold, which is why they offer an inexpensive 29-point furnace tune-up. You even get a standard 1-inch filter free, and you get the Any Hour no breakdown guarantee. At Any Hour, they understand your home's comfort is important, and their team is dedicated to giving you the best quality for your money. I've been a loyal customer for 8 years, but don't take my word. Feel the love yourself by reading their 19,000 Google reviews and keep those home fires burning. Call 801-443-7400 for a furnace checkup or go to anyhourservices.com. This Valentine's week, no one loves your furnace more than Any Hour Services.
IVC is celebrating 20 years providing quality service in Utah. You've probably heard their saying by now, life starts when the pain stops. IVC is the most trusted interventional and vein center in the state, and they've been voted Best of Utah Valley 10 years running. The 7 physicians at IVC provide state-of-the-art, comprehensive vein care with many years of experience. The team at IVC takes the time to get to know you and your veins so you're comfortable with the right diagnosis and the right treatment. Patients are like family at IVC. You've also heard many radio ads over the years with real people describing how IVC has dramatically improved their quality of life by eliminating the pain and discomfort caused by varicose veins. Well, what are you waiting for? Don't let vein disease slow you down even one more day, because life starts when the pain stops. Visit ivein.com today to set up a free screening. That's ivein.com.
This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. When I think of country music, I think of Garth Brooks, Carrie Underwood, Tim McGraw, but Beyonce? During the Super Bowl, Beyonce dropped 2 singles from her next album, and they're straight-up country music.
This ain't Texas, ain't no hold'em, so lay your cards down, 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 down.
A warning, if you're going to listen on YouTube, there's an explicit version with a short video that would melt your children's eyeballs. Google Beyonce Texas Hold'em clean version, if so inclined. So what's this all about? Country would seem like a radical departure for Beyonce, right? For months now, she's been wearing a cowboy hat to signify that country music might be in her future. Beyonce is a Texas girl born and raised in Houston. To her credit, this song isn't about losing the girl, a dying dog, or a pickup truck. In her version of country, you're driving a Lexus. But this first song from the album is full of honky-tonk cliches, and it's meant for line dancing until the abrupt change toward the end.
Ooh, it's a real live boogie and a real live hold down. Don't be a come take it to the floor now. Ooh.
Whether you like hillbilly Beyonce or not, gutsy move on Sunday while Taylor Swift was getting all the attention. Beyonce grabbed some for herself.
Photogenic, shoot.
So is it country?
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Good question, right? Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Ricky, what's going on?
Delays for southbounders on I-15. The usual spot from 4500 South Murray to 90th South Sandy. After that, a few spots of heavy and slow traffic from the Southtown Mall through Draper. Northbound to I-15, where we had some bogged down traffic from South Salt Lake to downtown, that's actually cleared out. If you're traveling the 21st South Freeway going westbound, it is heavy and slow as you're passing 5600 west on the way to Magna. Mark?
That's a big flare-up on SR 36 again this afternoon. This time it's a wreck that UDOT says is blocking all lanes southbound at Erta Way. So north and southbound delays are occurring there. And southbound continues steady, slow, and go down to Willamine Street towards 10th and North. Now, Bangor is not so bad. Mountain View and 5600 West are slow as typical through West Valley. I-15 in Utah County just starting to get a little bit of a pushback below Pleasant Grove Boulevard. Michelle.
Yeah, getting busy. Northbound I-15, this is from downtown to the North Interchange in North Salt Lake. Once you get past that, you're seeing good speeds all the way to Brigham City. Southbound I-15, that's still in good shape coming back down the other direction. Also looking good if you're on Legacy or I-215's West Belt. All machines are discounted during the embroidery sale at Dave's Bernina in St. George and Provo. 48 months, no interest, and amazing buy a machine, get free gift offers. Great bargains on previously loved machines. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
It's been a nice day. We started out with sunshine. Temperatures climbed well above normal. Our normal's 44 today. We've been in the upper 40s. Look for partly cloudy skies tonight and a low of 33. We'll keep it partly cloudy on Wednesday with a high of 48. Then a storm moves in. Cold front slides by Wednesday night into Thursday. Some valley rain and mountain snow. Temperatures in the upper 40s for highs with lows in the low to mid 30s. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
And we're parked at 47 degrees in Salt Lake City. On the way, the CDC is changing its guidelines for COVID quarantines. Stay with us. We're going in depth with someone from the U of U Health in just a few moments. You're listening to KSL News Radio. We're streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com. We're on the KSL News Radio app. This is Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
All I wanna do is have a little fun before I die. Says the man next to me, out of nowhere. It's apropos of nothing. He says his name is William. I'm sure he's Bill or Billy or Mac or Buddy.
No, his name's Dave. This portion of the show is brought to you by America First Credit Union. And joining me live in the studio for a free Money Minute, America First's Dave Nellis. Welcome to KSL. This is your first time in the studio, right?
It's great to be here, and we're sharing how you can make your money work for you.
And you were talking about CDs off the air a moment ago, and I was wondering for a second, were we talking about compact discs or were we talking about certificates of deposit here?
Yeah, we're talking about certificates of deposit and how great rates are right now, and you don't want to miss out on how you can make your money work more for you.
Okay, I remember the old days going back where you would get significant money if you took out a CD. But over the past few years, not so much. So what's going on in the market?
Yeah, for a couple decades we had low rates. Well, those rates are now back, and for a limited time, if you take advantage of those rates, then you can make your money work for you. And so a certificate of deposit works with an initial deposit of $500. And if you're looking to get in on a good rate, you look at the term. 3 to 5 months, you got the best term in the market. America First will give you.
Now, the way it would typically work is if you lock your money up for like 5 years, you get a tremendous interest rate. But right now, that's not the way it is.
Right now, those short-term certificate rates are the best.
And are they significantly better than just having a savings or a money market account?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You can earn a significant amount of interest. So, for example, let's say you have $5,000 over 5 years in a certificate of deposit at around 4% interest. You're going to net about $1,000 more than you would just in a regular savings account.
Now, how do your CD rates compare to the rest of the market here in Utah?
We are leading the market. And I can't...
Okay, well, you can't just say that because people are going to check.
Yeah, we welcome them to go check. Go look at our rate and fee schedule. You can look at americafirst.com and check those out. But a 3 to 5 month certificate is 5.5%.
Minimum investment, $500.
Mm-hmm.
3 to 5 months.
Yeah.
And you get better interest than you do locking up for 5 years.
Absolutely. And so it makes sense to make your money work for you.
Okay, so there's a free Money Minute from America First. Dave, I want to thank you for sharing this time with us this afternoon and providing money saving and money making tips.
So great to be here, Jeff.
Absolutely. Visit America First Credit Union. They'll help your money do more. AmericaFirst.com.
You know that feeling? You flush the toilet and it goes down okay, but you feel like it used to really whoosh when it went down, and now it's more of a gurgle than a whoosh, and that's probably okay, but what if that gurgle instead of a whoosh means there's actually a bigger problem down there? Whipple that away. Making gurgly drains whoosh again is my job. Make your problem my problem. Whipple Service Champions. We can solve your sewer problems in just one day. Visit whipplethataway.com.
KSL News Time, 4:45. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
a bill to expand childcare in the state by turning existing state-owned buildings into high-quality childcare facilities is moving on to the Senate floor. I'm KSL News Radio's Alessandra Harris.
Second, the principal and assistant principal at Edgemont Elementary School have been placed on a paid administrative leave. The Provo School District says it's part of an active investigation. Third, our biggest traffic trouble spot.
And we want to thank our KSL traffic trooper for the details on the Tooele County crash. Southbound SR 36 at Erda Way. It does involve multiple vehicles. Now, we know from UDOT southbound is closed. The traffic trooper is saying they are diverting traffic to go east or west at Erda Way. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Clouds have rolled in this afternoon, but temperatures back up near 50. I'm Kevin Eubank.
47 degrees and time for the KSL in depth. The CDC is considering changing its COVID guidelines for isolating yourself. Instead of, the rules, you're supposed to stay to yourself for 5 days after your COVID test is positive. But now the CDC is going to recommend people end their quarantine once their symptoms have improved and if you've been fever-free for 24 hours. Dr. Andy Pavia, infectious disease expert at the University of Utah, joins us now live. So, Doctor, why this change from the CDC?
Well, the biology of the virus hasn't changed. You still shed virus for 5 to 8 days after infection, but fewer people are getting seriously ill. And the main driver, I think, of this decision is just the reality that people are not testing. They're not following the isolation guidelines. And it's an attempt to make a recommendation that is more consistent with what people are able to do and willing to do. It's also simpler advice that matches the same advice you should follow for influenza or an RSV infection.
You know, with all the mutations, has the COVID virus been watered down to the point where typically it's not really a big deal that you get COVID?
No, I think that's actually not correct. With the mutations have made it more transmissible for people who've got immunity. What's protecting us is the high level of immunity. Most people have had at least a primary series of vaccines. Most people have also been infected at least once, many twice or 3 times. So once you're not seeing the virus for the first time, if you're relatively healthy and relatively young, you're very much more likely to have mild illness. Now, that said, there's still over 1,000 people dying a week in the United States. They're mostly older people, mostly people without a high level of immunity. But the virus hasn't gone away, and it's not totally benign. It's just that we are able to resist it much better because we've been living with it for 4 years, and we've had very good vaccines available.
So this has been a talking point for 4 years. Is the mortality rate at this point about the same as for the flu?
This year, it's still, the final data aren't out for the winter, but it still looks like it's substantially higher than for flu. And I think we'll know a little bit more as the winter goes on and we see final data. But preliminary data suggests it's still killing about twice as many people as influenza. And, flu kills a lot of people. It can be, 20,000 to 40,000 an average year, up to 60,000 in a terrible year.
Are we having an average year this year?
It is unclear so far. It looks like it's on the bad side of average, but we won't see final data. Certainly for children, it's been quite a bad year, and primary children's has been full of kids who are hospitalized mostly with complications of influenza. Influenza opens the door for other serious infections.
So I want to go back for just a brief moment, Dr. Pavia, to the CDC guidelines that will apparently be changing. Instead of 5 days of isolation, if I have this right, they're going to recommend that you end quarantine when your symptoms are better and you've been fever-free for 24 hours. But it leaves me with this question. If you test positive for COVID, but you never have any symptoms, you don't have to quarantine at all?
Well, we have not seen the final recommendations from CDC. We do know that asymptomatic people can still transmit. So I think what people need to do is use some common sense. If you're going to be around infants, if you're going to be around elderly people or those who are at very high risk, you should be aware that you can still transmit and make other people sick. But this allows people to go back to work and to go back to school and in most settings to go on living a more normal life.
Thanks a lot. We always appreciate the opportunity to talk with you. Dr. Andy Pavia, infectious disease expert with University of Utah Health. We appreciate you coming on. KSL News Time, 4:50 now. A bit late, I apologize. Traffic and weather together here. We're brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Here's Ricky Meese.
Slow down southbound I-15 Murray, 4500 south to 90th south. Both sides of I-15 bogged down at 146 south to Bangalore Highway. And then if you continue northbound, a little busy in Murray and again approaching 1300 south. Westbound on the 21st South Freeway, that's seeing slowdowns as you're passing 5600 west into Magna. Mark?
You're going to get caught up on a big jam right now. SR 36 Tooele County as you struggle southbound there, blocking all lanes at Erta Way. And KSL traffic trooper says they're forcing traffic to either go east or westbound on Erta Way. So that's going to leave SR 36 again southbound shut down. Second biggest jam out west is going to be Mountain View, struggling. SR 31 down to 3500 south. Bangor is okay. I-15 in Utah County is sluggish southbound at Pleasant Grove Boulevard. Michelle.
little slow as you're headed northbound I-15 leaving downtown. This is going to be slow and go in spots all the way up to the north interchange. We're going past the refineries. Once you break free of that, seeing good speeds all the way to the Utah-Idaho border. For drivers heading south from the Utah-Idaho border, you're also seeing good conditions all the way to downtown. For drivers northbound on SR 224, we're looking at some slowdowns approaching Kimball Junction. Something to be aware of as you're approaching I-80. Call 866-0RES and say you want the KSL special, $33 per room cleaned and $50 off air duct cleaning, 0RES. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Few clouds this afternoon as temperatures once again have climbed above normal. We're going to stay there during the day on Wednesday, high of 48 under partly cloudy skies. Our storm system will move in Wednesday night into Thursday. That'll bring some valley rain and mountain snow to northern and central Utah. Should be gone by Thursday night, partly cloudy and upper 40s and low 50s on Friday and Saturday. Another storm system brings more valley rain and mountain snow on Sunday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful, 46 degrees. Oh, the Dow. Details next.
Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333. Give the star in your life the brightest gift in the world. Name a star after them. This is Rocky Moselle with International Star Registry. For $59 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit starregistry.com, you can name a star for birthdays, weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. The star you name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
You ever work from home? If your internet service goes down, you start checking with your neighbors. Hey, is yours down too? Well, when I work from home, if the internet goes down, thousands of people know instantly. Can't have it. So I have Xfinity Wi-Fi. When I'm live on KSL here while my wife is streaming and grandkids are playing Nintendo and the dogs are watching dog videos on YouTube, yes, that happens. It all works with blazing fast Xfinity Wi-Fi. It actually allows me to work from home. Xfinity Wi-Fi is a game changer. Get wall-to-wall Wi-Fi on the Xfinity 10G network for a reliable connection throughout your home. Now through March 21st, new customers can get started with 1.2 gigabit internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and Wi-Fi equipment included when you add unlimited mobile. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and Wi-Fi equipment. Actual speeds vary.
Have you heard of IRS Tax Code Section 1.408A-4? It sounds complicated, but it's a simple tax law thousands of Utah families are using to lock in lower tax bills when they retire. If you've saved at least $200,000 for retirement, and some of this money is in an IRA or 401k, it could save you tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars in future tax bills. You can find out how much you could save by requesting a free and confidential retirement tax savings analysis. It's from Boss Retirement Solutions, a 5-time winner of Utah's Best of State Award. For your free retirement tax analysis, call 801-896-9622. 801-896-9622. That's 801-896-9622.
Advisory services offered through Boss Retirement Advisors, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm. Insurance products and services offered through Boss Retirement Solutions.
We're watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Utah First Credit Union. JetBlue shares are on the rise today after an investment from Carl Icahn. The billionaire bought nearly 10% of the airline, calling it undervalued, and you know what? It was. JetBlue was up more than 21% today. Inflation was a little hotter than expected last month. The just-released inflation rate for January, 3.1%, meaning something that cost $100 a year ago today is $103.10 on average. Economists were expecting inflation will be a little bit lower this month. It wasn't. On Wall Street, as a result of that, the Dow is down 524 points, closing at 38,272. The S&P was down 68. The Nasdaq down 286 points.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors. And did you know that we get a bunch of service calls per year from people who didn't even hire us? That means they originally hired someone else to replace their siding, gutters, and windows. Then later, when a problem popped up, they tried to call their contractor back to fix it, only to find out that the contractor has ceased to exist. They're gone, done, out of business. At RGS Exteriors, we've been serving Utah for 70 years. As a fifth-generation owned contractor, we've got customers who are the grandkids of our customers we had in the 1950s and 60s. We're not going anywhere. We will be here when you need us, period. For siding, gutters, and windows, now and forever, call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit at rgsexteriors.com. That's 801-280-3110 or rgsexteriors.com.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online. Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Right now at Macy's, find great Valentine's Day gift ideas like fragrance gift sets from Yves Saint Laurent, Armani, Carolina Herrera, and more. Plus, take an extra 20% off with your coupon or Macy's card on top of 35 to 60% off fine jewelry she'll love and 25% off chocolate from Godiva. And get your Valentine's gifts even faster when you pick up in-store or curbside now at Macy's. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
Any Hour Services can help you make sure your furnace keeps you warm this winter. Whether you need a tune-up, a repair, or a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by the Sinclair Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Ricky Meese.
A vehicle fire northbound I-15 prior to 5300 South Murray, blocking right lanes, causing delays to Midvale, and southbound slowdowns from 4500 south to Sandy. Mark?
Place to avoid in Tooele County is SR 36, closed southbound at Erta Way. Michelle?
Little slowing northbound I-15 between downtown and North Salt Lake, looking free and clear once you get past those delays. For a limited time, open a 9-month certificate from Cypress Credit Union and get a 5.6% APY. Learn more at any branch or visit cypresscu.com. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Partly cloudy. We're headed down to 32 degrees overnight. Then we get a partly cloudy Valentine's Day with a warm, loving 48 degrees for the high. Rain is expected on Thursday, but no snow for the valley floor. KSL News Time 4:59. The 5 o'clock report is coming right up.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
This is the 5 o'clock report, 20 minutes of uninterrupted news, commercial free. I'm Jeff Caplan. KSL's top story, we're covering a horrible accident in the line of duty. A Utah State trooper was involved in a car chase and fell off a highway overpass this morning. KSL News Radio's Hugo Ricard Bell joins us live. Hugo.
Jeff, there's still a lot of unanswered questions about how exactly the state trooper fell off the overpass. But Sergeant Roden from the Utah Highway Patrol explained it was during an attempt to stop the suspect, identified now as 34-year-old Sammy Swicky.
Troopers were attempting to deploy spikes. During that spike deployment, one of our troopers was injured as he fell off of a structure onto a surface street down below.
Moments later, it's our understanding that Swicky fled to a nearby hotel where Jean-Louis was staying from South Africa.
Seeing a helicopter, something must be going on. I just heard the helicopter and saw the police car, heard the sirens in the distance.
Witnesses say Swicky ran across the car park and into the Comfort Inn lobby where Irasima Barazar works and said she saw them apprehend him.
And I just saw like a whole bunch of cops just kind of tackle someone down.
The Highway Patrol officer is still in hospital in a serious yet stable condition. Reporting live, Hugo Ricard Bell, KSL News Radio.
Thanks, Hugo. We have an update on the 2 pilots who went down in that West Jordan chopper crash yesterday. One of the Apache pilots was released from the hospital last night. The other pilot from the 419th Fighter Wing at Hill remains hospitalized in stable condition. Their names haven't been released. The investigation into the crash is likely going to take months. Students in Logan got a surprise when a mountain lion wandered onto the campus. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
Logan City Police say they got an early morning call about a mountain lion spotted on the main Utah State University campus. The big cat was first spotted up in a tree near the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum. Officers say it was about 4 feet long. There's no official confirmation on the age of the lion, but adults can grow up to 9 feet. The police got in contact with the Division of Wildlife Resources after tracking it into a cemetery and off campus.
The mountain lion wandered off to a nearby neighborhood, which is where the Division of Natural Resources tranquilized it and moved it out of the area. The principal and assistant principal at Edgemont Elementary School have been placed on paid administrative leave. The Provo City School District won't offer any more details on why. They say it's because it's part of an active investigation. They say the leave began this week. The district says Dr. Karen Brock will serve as interim principal. Financial markets took a hit today because of hotter than expected inflation numbers. Maria Chaleos is live at the KSL National News Desk.
Jeff, stocks fell sharply after disappointing data on inflation.
The market participants had gotten used to the slow and steady decline in prices and inflation, and today upset the apple cart a little bit.
Chief market strategist at B. Riley Wealth, Art Hogan, says the unexpected data has financial markets now envisioning the Fed's first rate cut in June rather than in May. The Dow and S&P 500 both fell 1.4%. The NASDAQ tumbled 1.8%. The CDC is expected to relax its COVID isolation guidelines for the first time since 2021. Washington Post is reporting Americans who test positive for the coronavirus would no longer need to stay home from work and school for 5 days. Instead, if they've been fever-free for at least 24 hours without the aid of medication and their symptoms are mild and improving, they no longer need to stay home. Snow in the Northeast causing a chain of flight cancellations across the country. More than 1,200 flights have been canceled by midday. Meantime, tens of thousands of flight attendants are walking off the job, demanding higher wages and better working conditions. Dozens of flight attendants from Southwest, American, United are picketing and chanting outside George Bush Airport in Houston. Live from the KSL National News Desk, I'm Maria Chaleos, KSL News Radio.
Some drivers for Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash are planning to protest for better pay tomorrow. Here's ABC's Ariel Reshef.
They're expected to go on strike by tomorrow, which is just in time for Valentine's Day, but Uber is saying that most drivers are not expected to participate, so shouldn't be a huge impact, but they're making their voices heard.
In a blog post last week for a group called Justice for App Workers, they said drivers are, quote, sick of working 80 hours a week to make ends meet. A man who allegedly assaulted a woman at random in Salt Lake City is facing charges of attempted rape. Police say 41-year-old Marcos Reyes grabbed a woman who was walking near Main Street in South Temple 4 a.m. on Thursday. Somebody nearby heard the woman yelling for help and called 911. KSL.com reports Reyes was arrested and charged in 2021 for another case involving sexual battery. First look traffic on the 5 o'clock report. Here's Ricky Meese.
Fire crews have doused a vehicle fire in Murray, northbound I-15 prior to 5300 South. Right lanes are blocked, and that's causing delays passing Midvale on the way to Sandy. We also have a crash for drivers in Davis County. Watch for this one, eastbound Highway 193 at Fairfield Road. If you are making your way southbound on SR 36, be aware we've had an earlier accident at Erda Way, still causing some delays. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Thank you, Ricky. KSL News Time 5:06. A state court has canceled the hearing to get an execution warrant for death row inmate Ralph Menzies. First, they want to find out if Menzies is mentally competent. His lawyers argue that he has dementia and no longer understands why he'd be executed. The State Department of Health and Human Services will now appoint 2 medical examiners. They're going to have 60 days to provide an initial report on Menzies' mental state. Utah parents could soon have more options for affordable child care. A bill to ease the child care crunch has passed its first hurdle in the legislature. KSL News Radio's Alessandra Harris reports.
This bill would turn existing state-owned buildings into high-quality child care facilities that would then be leased to an employer sponsor and a licensed child care provider. This bill highlights that at least 25% of employees hired must be parents with young children, and 40% of the child care capacity must be saved for children in low-income or military families.
The bill was unanimously recommended by a Senate committee. A committee of Utah lawmakers has approved a measure that would end ranked choice voting in Utah. Representative Norman Thurston voted in favor of ending the program early after hearing public comments about issues like people not understanding how it works and even filling out their ballots incorrectly.
Sometimes you do a clinical trial with the hope of gathering data and showing that something really works. But if you find out halfway through the clinical trial that it's not working, that it's actually harmful, you don't go all the way to the end hoping that the data reverses itself.
However, 4 lawmakers voted against ending ranked choice voting since it can sometimes save money and because it would take the choice away from cities that like using it. This bill's now headed to the full House. A measure that banned businesses from imposing their racial views on employees is dead. A state Senate committee killed the bill by a 5-2 vote. The sponsor, Republican Tim Jimenez of Tooele, says he'll try again next year, focusing on government employees instead of private business. KSL News Time, 5:08. This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. This one's for parents whose 27-year-olds live at home. 40% of people aged 25 to 34 live with their parents. The problem is these millennials have to break all the rules. The first one, financial websites say by age 30 you should have $55,000 saved. That's according to CNBC, The Motley Fool, MarketWatch, all of them. But I don't know a single 30-year-old with that kind of money in the bank. Not a one. Older folks grumble these kids are buying too many mocha lattes and chai teas, and yes, they do chase experiences, which we used to call going on vacation, but if you work full-time, shouldn't you be able to afford a little vacation? Fact is, the cost of housing is now an insane, budget-busting, back-breaking lift.
But there's not a lot I can do.
Which brings us to another rule they're breaking. Those who bravely leave behind their teary-eyed moms and dads and venture into the world can expect to drop up to 50% of their paychecks just to have a roof over their heads. We're not talking about an opulent home, just a roof. Up to half their money goes toward having 800 square feet to call their own, but the financial websites spin the financial fantasy that they should be buying a mix of stocks, bonds, and commodities. But another rule: when you invest, don't put all your eggs in one basket. But with rent high as it is, they can't afford eggs. And Mom, that's why you make them for your 27-year-old every morning.
Caplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Here's the traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Ricky, how do we look?
Well, northbound I-15 really snarled up now due to this vehicle fire in Murray. This is prior to 5300 South, a couple of right lanes blocked. That is causing stop-and-go delays, not quite back to 90th South. And if you're headed southbound on I-15, the usual slowdowns are waiting for you from about 3900 South to 90th South. A few spots of slowing after that in Sandy and Draper. We're actually seeing a quiet drive on the rest of your Salt Lake County freeways. Mark?
Place to avoid in Tooele County is SR 36 closed southbound at Erta Way. KSL traffic troopers are telling us traffic has been diverted onto Erta Way to go east or westbound. It's already heavy in Utah County, south I-15 at Pleasant Grove Boulevard. Heavy delays can be seen as well, 2100 North Lehigh, Main Street, and Pioneer Crossing, headed from I-15. Michelle.
Well, looks like they already have this crash cleared. This is eastbound Highway 193 at Fairfield Road in Davis County. Not seeing any slowdowns in that area at this point. If you're headed northbound I-15, we're looking really pretty good. Just a little bit of slow and go traffic as you're approaching the North Interchange in North Salt Lake. Once you break free of that, you're seeing good speeds all the way to Brigham City. On the flip side, you're also running at posted speeds if you're going from Brigham City back down to Salt Lake. Advanced Window Products, factory direct affordable windows. Call today, they're on their way. Financing available. Save now, pay later. AdvancedWindows.com. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
As we head through the 5 o'clock hour, temperatures will be in the mid-40s under mostly cloudy skies. We'll stay there for 6 o'clock and then slide into the low 40s for 7, upper 30s for 8 and 9, and mid-30s by 10. Ultimate lows will stay in the low 30s under partly cloudy skies. With your hourly forecast on the 5 o'clock report, I'm Kevin Eubank.
And right now in Salt Lake City, 46 degrees. Sunset tonight comes at 5:59 if you're curious. Tomorrow morning, sun's up at 7:23 a.m. KSL News Time, 5:12. Maria's here, and it's Mardi Gras. Those beads are like fun and throwing them and all that, but it makes a big mess, though.
It does. I mean, it's a beloved century-old carnival season tradition. The masked riders and lavish floats, they fling strings of colorful beads or trinkets to thousands of parade watchers. Well, it's all in good fun, but it's a bit of a plastics disaster, according to Judith Enck, who is president of the advocacy group Beyond Plastics. Despite a massive daily cleanup, uncaught beads dangle from tree limbs like Spanish moss. They get in the ground, mud. They get into the mud, and so they just kind of get lost in the mud. They also wash in the storm drains. Tons have been pulled out of the system in recent years. Now, those that aren't removed from the storm drains, they eventually get washed to the Gulf of Mexico, where they're threatening fish and wildlife. Now, there's one New Orleans native who grew up catching those beads, and he says, the waste is becoming a defining characteristic of Mardi Gras. He now heads a nonprofit that works to recycle those beads. So he has folks donate the beads. They recycle and sell them, and they use the money to provide services for people with disabilities. Now, the city has also put in collection points along the parade routes for cans, glass, and yes, those beads.
Be better if they threw paper airplanes, but that's not going to fly. Not as fun, right?
Not nearly as pretty.
KSL News Time, 5:13. You're right. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Salt Lake City Temple has reached a new milestone in the renovation. Construction crews put on a final reinforcing spire on the temple. The church expects to finish renovations on the temple in 2026. KSL News Time, 5:13. One of the stories we're following on the 5 o'clock report. A group of teens were thrown out of a Boston Sephora. The kids were accused of using makeup to do blackface. KSL News Radio's Claire Scott reports.
Temi Ajora caught the whole interaction on video. She says she saw the girls and their chaperone giggling while applying the makeup and making animal noises. Ajora posted the video on TikTok where it went viral. The TikTok shows the three girls running around the store with the dark makeup all over their face. A Sephora employee approached them, calling out the chaperone for being offensive, but was dismissed. Sephora has since condemned the teens, saying they kicked them out and do not tolerate this type of behavior in their stores. Claire Scott, KSL News Radio.
Trending on social media, Kansas City's first thought after their Chiefs won the Super Bowl, we better not let Taylor Swift come to the parade. Yeah, the city manager was on a local radio station after the Super Bowl saying he cannot confirm nor deny, but they may have told her to skip the victory parade to avoid mayhem. He said the city is not equipped to handle the kind of traffic that Taylor Swift would bring to the celebration. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
students at Utah State University got a surprise wake-up call this morning when a mountain lion was spotted on campus all curled up in a tree. I'm KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla.
Second, a state court has canceled a hearing to get an execution warrant for death row inmate Ralph Menzies. First, they want to find out if Menzies is mentally competent. Third, our biggest traffic trouble spot.
Crews are still working on that crash in Tooele County southbound SR 36 Main Street at Erda Way. It's reported it could be a rollover crash, and then big delays northbound I-15 from 90th South to 53rd, where we have right lanes blocked with a vehicle fire in Murray. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Above normal temperatures with increasing clouds. I'm Kevin Eubank.
46 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios now. Our top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The Republican-led House could take up another attempted vote on articles of impeachment against Homeland Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas over his handling of the border. But the House Speaker says he doesn't plan to bring a vote to the floor on the Senate-passed foreign aid package for Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, and Taiwan. President Biden urging Congress to act and also criticizing his predecessor.
President Biden slammed former President Donald Trump, saying he gave an invitation to Vladimir Putin to invade NATO allies.
No other president in our history has ever bowed down to a Russian dictator. Well, let me say this as clearly as I can. I never will. For God's sake, it's dumb, it's shameful, it's dangerous, it's un-American.
The president said the House passing the $95 billion foreign aid bill would show allies the U.S. can be trusted and will not bow to Putin. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin could be released from the hospital later today. The Pentagon says Austin was hospitalized Sunday and treated at Walter Reed for a bladder issue. It follows his prostate cancer surgery in December. An unexpected rise in the consumer price index leading to a major sell-off today on Wall Street. The consumer price index up 0.3% in January from December. That could delay the Federal Reserve cuts to interest rates. Art Hogan is chief market strategist at B. Riley Wealth.
The market participants had gotten used to the slow and steady decline in prices and inflation, and today upset the apple cart a little bit.
The Dow lost more than 540 points. The Northeast digging out after a fast-moving winter storm. It shuttered schools and led to some 1,200 flight cancellations. Celebrations today for Fat Tuesday. In New Orleans, hundreds line the streets for the annual Mardi Gras parade. The Day of Indulgence leads to the start of Lent tomorrow. You're listening to ABC News.
And now the KSL in-depth stocks took a nosedive today. The Dow down over 500 points. The S&P and NASDAQ having a rough day. It all comes down to inflation data released this morning. It shows that inflation's running a little bit hotter than we expected. Joining me live is DNBA certified financial planner Jerica Espinoza. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so how much higher was inflation, and is the difference from what we were expecting worthy of the kind of reaction the stock market had today?
Yeah, it was a whopping 0.2%. So we were expecting 2.9%, and the actual came in at 3.1% for inflation. I think this is a fascinating study on expectations not being met and people reacting emotionally accordingly.
Yeah, the example we were giving was that if something cost $100 a year ago, it now costs $103.10. Now, if that was $102.80, the market would have gone up today?
I do. I think that when people are, I think it's all about expectations, right? That's the name of the game with the market. If we are over-promising and under-delivering, that's never a good formula versus the other way around. And so I think it's really hard for anyone in the government officials to say anything for expectations-wise. They're trying to hit it accurately, but sometimes it does get over or undershot.
So is there anything you're supposed to do as an average Joe, maybe with a 401k, when you hear that stocks tanked because inflation numbers were slightly greater than they were expecting to be? Do I sell everything? Do I buy more? What's going on?
Yeah, no, on average, no. I mean, if anything, you should feel grateful that it was down. In December, it was 3.4%. In January, now it's 3.1%. And then if you are contributing when the stock market dips, you should feel very excited because you're buying everything on sale. And a lot of people think, okay, well, what if I'm going to retire? Then I can't do that. No, your retirement is not your deadline. You've got hopefully another 20 and 30 years to live. So no, you keep doing what you're doing, and when stocks do go down, sure, take some opportunity to buy, but no reason to change your course.
Okay, thanks so much. Again, inflation running at 3.1% a year, and that's DMBA certified financial planner Jerica Espinoza. We appreciate it. 519. And we have emergency traffic. We're brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. So, Ricky, what's up?
It's northbound I-15. This earlier vehicle fire, it was pretty much engulfed. Not only did it cause a lot of black smoke in the air, but it is really tying up traffic. We now have a parking lot sitting on northbound I-15 from 90th South up to 53rd South in Murray, where just before that, the two right lanes are blocked with emergency crews that remain on the scene. So tack on an extra 20 to 25 minutes just to get through that stretch, especially if you're at the back of those delays. Now, southbounders on I-15, it's bogged down from 4500 South almost to 90th South, and then again going through Draper, westbound on the 201, heavy and slow approaching I-215's West Belt. Mark?
We're now hearing that in Tooele County. This is a rollover crash, possibly, that is blocking all lanes. SR 36 southbound at Erda Way. Last check, they were diverting the traffic. I'm also noticing some unusual delays, even for Bangerter Highway, down around Shields Lane. We believe we have something going on causing very heavy traffic to come down through West Jordan. And then I-15 in Utah County is very heavy. Lehigh Main Street stretching all the way down to Geneva Road. Michelle.
Breaking away from downtown northbound I-15, looking at some slowdowns. This is going from the Rose Park area, straggling up into Woods Cross. Once you break free of that, seeing good speeds once again all the way up to Ogden. Also looking at some slowdowns. This is on Highway 89 around Harrison Boulevard, approaching I-84 to go up Weber Canyon. And then we do have slowdowns. This is on Foothill Drive between University of Utah and I-80. Now's the time for a gorgeous new Nielsen home. Beautiful move-in ready townhomes to Rambler Communities. Maintenance free for all life stages. See what's new for you at nielsenhomes.com. I'm Michelle Rowan, the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast starts off with some clouds but mild temperatures, highs in the upper 40s. We get a storm front coming in Wednesday night into Thursday. That'll bring in some valley rain and mountain snow. Temperatures stay above normal all the way past that storm and into Friday and Saturday, where we'll have partly cloudy skies and temperatures near 50. A second storm comes in on Sunday. That'll bring us more valley rain and mountain snow as this spring-like weather train continues. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
Your 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. 46 degrees in Salt Lake City. Business News next.
Jeff Caplan's Afternoon News, only on KSL News Radio.
She's so mean, but I don't care. I love her eyes and her wild, wild hair. Dance to the beat that we like best. Heading for the 90s, living in the wild, wild west. The wild, wild west. Wild west. Oh, wild west.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. Get Healthy Utah is a nonprofit organization working to improve healthy eating and active living in the state. It envisions a Utah where a culture of health permeates every Utah community. Executive Director Alicia Duquara joins us with more.
Many people think of healthy behavior as an individual responsibility. At Get Healthy Utah, we understand that our health also depends on where we live, work, and play. Imagine two people. One lives in a neighborhood without safe walking or biking paths, a dozen fast food places but no grocery store, and a work environment of donuts and sitting all day. The other lives near parks, trails, grocery stores, and community gardens. Their employer has a great wellness program with paid time to exercise. Who's more likely to have a higher quality of life and productivity? Get Healthy Utah's mission is to improve the healthy eating, active living, and mental well-being. We partner with leaders across the state to build healthy communities through initiatives like the Healthy Utah Community Designation. Everyone can help improve the health of Utahns. We invite you to our annual Get Healthy Utah Stakeholder Retreat on October 4th to learn more.
Get Healthy Utah works with schools, workplaces, and communities to create lasting changes that improve health. They advocate for sound policies, aligned efforts across sectors, and address problems at the system level. For more information, visit gethealthyutah.org. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
We have breaking news at KSL News Radio from Washington. Maria Chaleos is live in the studio. What's going on?
Jeff, the House has just voted by a vote of 214 to 213 to impeach the Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. This is the second vote they've taken. Last vote, you remember, they didn't have enough votes. This vote, absolutely along party lines, 214 Republicans voting for it, 213 Democrats voting against it. What it means now is there has to be a hearing in the Senate.
It's going to be a trial. That's what follows impeachment at some point.
Absolutely.
Probably in the near future.
Yes, but remember that the Senate has said, the Democrats have said that this is not a real thing, that there is no evidence that the Homeland Security Secretary isn't following the law at the border. And so they are calling this kind of a sham, and they don't expect it to go anywhere.
And they have the majority in the Senate. So there we go. KSL News Time 525.
Hey, folks, it's Doug and Kathy with Window World.
Doug, can you believe it's been 20 years?
What's been 20 years?
Well, since we opened our first Window World store.
That is amazing. Our motto today is the same. Quality products, professionally installed, backed up by our awesome warranty.
And our team shares those very same values.
Come see us today. We have stores in Murray and Spanish Fork for your convenience.
Experience the Window World difference. Call 801-281-8111 or visit windowworldutah.com.
And we promise no baloney.
We're watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Utah First Credit Union. This year's Super Bowl was the most watched television broadcast in U.S. history. More than 123 million people tuned in. That's 8 million more than last year's big game between the Chiefs and Eagles. Taylor Swift, apparently the difference. If you're thinking about taking a trip, do it. Airfare is down nearly 6.5% from a year ago. But the flight tracking company Hopper.com says these bargains aren't going to last long. They figure prices go up from here by about 9% by May. On tough inflation news, the Dow is down 524 points today. The S&P off 68, the NASDAQ falling 1.8%, losing 286 points.
Are you tired of yo-yo dieting? Are you thinking about trying the latest fad prescription drug with their long list of possible serious side effects? Most people don't realize that while you may lose weight, it's just temporarily suppressing your hunger, so as soon as you get off the drug, your frustration and your weight could come right back to haunt you. At slcfatloss.com, we know the secret to quick weight loss and, most importantly, safe and lasting weight loss. Our program has helped over 40,000 patients across the country break the weight loss code. Gone are the starvation diet plans. Our program is healthy weight loss, using real whole foods and proprietary strategies to help guide our patients through their successful weight loss with a roadmap to keep the weight off long term.
This is Maria Chaleos. Make this the year that you get the extra weight off that is weighing you down. Do what I did and find out the secret to losing up to a pound per day with 20 to 30 pounds gone in about a month or two. Schedule your free consultation in person or virtually. slcfatloss.com. slcfatloss.com. Results may vary.
It's time for the Sportsman's Vacation and RV Show, February 16th through the 19th at the Mountain America Expo. Save $2 at UtahRVShow.com.
As the new year begins, you and your credit card might be ready for a quiet break. Experience the relief of a low rate with the Mountain America credit card. With a 3% cash bonus on balance transfers, it's more relaxing than ever. Open a Mountain America credit card today for your limited time bonus. Details at macu.com/transfer. Loans and approved credit. Membership required based on eligibility. Offer can change or be withdrawn at any time. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Made to Shine. Love stories from Shane Company customers.
My girlfriend and I survived a long-distance relationship, and now she's back. So this Valentine's Day, I'm gonna propose. I was overwhelmed when it came to the ring, but when I walked into Shane Company, they took the time to show me tons of different rings. They helped me create a one-of-a-kind engagement ring that's so her.
Our jewelry consultants don't work on commission, so you'll never feel pressured. They'll educate you about the 4 C's and help you bring your vision to life. Shane Company. Fine jewelry since 1929.
Emergency traffic brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Go ahead, Ricky.
We have big delays northbound I-15. It's due to an earlier vehicle fire in Murray. By 53rd South, backing traffic through Sandy. Southbound I-15 delays continue from Murray through Draper. Mark?
Areas to avoid: Mountain View through West Valley and Daybreak, and Bangerter Highway north and southbound around 9800 South. Michelle?
Only minor slowing northbound I-15 through North Salt Lake, looking good. Both directions I-15 all the way up into Davis County and Weber after that. Also seeing some delays for drivers on Foothill Boulevard between the University of Utah and I-80. Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
It's been a nice day. We started out with sunny skies, partly cloudy skies by afternoon with temperatures back in the upper 40s. Tonight, 33 for the low, partly cloudy, and 48 on Wednesday. We'll see a storm system roll in Wednesday night into Thursday. Look for some valley rain and mountain snow. Temperatures stay above normal all the way into the end of the week. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
You're listening to Jeff Caplan's Afternoon News
on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM
and 1160 AM.
Good afternoon. It's 5:30 at KSL. Jeff Caplan here. 45 degrees in Salt Lake City. KSL's top story. Developing news on KSL. The U.S. House has just voted to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Maria Chaleos is live at the KSL National News Desk.
Jeff, by a vote of 214 to 213, the House has voted to impeach the Homeland Security Secretary. The vote along party lines, with Republicans claiming Mayorkas isn't following the law at the border. Democrats calling it party politics. A vote last week failed because there weren't enough Republicans present. Today, Representative Steve Scalise is back from cancer treatment, and he voted yes, giving them the votes. Either way, this sets the stage for a trial now in the Senate. President Biden is pressuring the House to take a vote on the foreign aid package. He says Ukraine needs additional aid to fight the war brought on by Vladimir Putin.
You can't walk away now. That's what Putin's betting on. Supporting this bill is standing up to Putin. Opposing it is playing into Putin's hands.
Speaker Mike Johnson has said he won't call for the vote, but House Democrats say they're ready to approve the bill right now. Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says Democrats are eager to send the bill to the president.
The overwhelming majority of House Democrats are ready, willing, and able to support the national security bill right now.
He says only the MAGA Republicans oppose the measure. Live from the KSL National News Desk, I'm Maria Shilaos, KSL News Radio.
Consumer prices were up again last month, with inflation worse in western states. KSL News Radio's Amy Kobabe has the numbers.
It's no surprise that the numbers are up again, but economists were hopeful it would be a little less. Instead, we've been hit with a 3.1% increase over the last year, and that's 3.3% in the West.
Geographics matter sometimes, especially for things like energy.
DMBA certified financial planner Shane Stewart also says sometimes we'll have the lower numbers in the West. He also says the Fed now won't likely cut rates quite yet.
We're waiting for it to continue to go down closer to 2 before the Fed will start rate cuts. And what that means to consumers is things will become a little more affordable, especially things like housing.
Amy Kobabe, KSL News Radio.
On today's inflation news, the stock market fell off a cliff, the Dow losing more than 500 points. The Utah Highway Patrol trooper injured in a fall after a car chase on I-80 today has serious injuries but is in stable condition. Salt Lake City police say the trooper was setting up spikes to catch 34-year-old Sammy Michael Swicky. Police were attempting to stop Swicky in connection with a drug investigation. The officer fell off a highway overpass. Salt Lake City Police Department didn't release any more information about the injured trooper. KSL News Time 5:33. Mill Creek and Murray City Councils have voted for resolutions that demand Natalie Klein resign from the State Board of Ed.
KSL political consultant Taylor Morgan says this is all well and good, but it is really just performative at this stage.
When we're talking about Mill Creek City passing a resolution condemning Natalie Klein, that's something totally different. That is really purely a political move.
He says, however, there are city councils that could have some weight in this story.
If we saw that coming from cities in Natalie Klein's school board district, it is District 9, Harriman, South Jordan, Riverton. If we saw those cities passing these resolutions, that's where it could have more of an impact.
Taylor says at the end of the day, Klein could just weather the storm. She's up for re-election this year, and last time she ran for the State Board of Education for her district, she won by 40%. Burkhard Bell, KSL News Radio.
Utah's not the only state with a parental consent law for kids on social media. Ohio passed one. It requires consent from parents for anyone younger than 16 who wants to jump on social media, but now a federal judge has blocked that law from taking effect in Ohio, the judge ruling that it violated a minor's right to free speech. The judge, in essence, agreeing with TikTok, X, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. This case is going to continue to wind its way through the federal courts. Some moms in Utah came together at the state capitol this morning, rallying for Ecuadorians living in Utah. They want Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas to grant temporary protected status to immigrants from Ecuador.
TPS would benefit the Ecuadorians having lived here for many years to have access to better jobs and to continue contributing to the economy of this state and the country.
Linda Stone from Moms Rising. Stone says giving immigrants from Ecuador protected status could benefit almost 700,000 people across the country. KSL News Time 5:35. A Utah House committee has voted to kill ranked choice voting. KSL News Radio's Adam Small with details.
For my constituents, this is about voter confidence.
Representative Katie Hall's bill would end the pilot program allowing cities to use ranked choice voting nearly 2 years early. Those who voted in favor of ending it did so after hearing issues like people not fully understanding it, filling out their ballots incorrectly, and that those elections can be audited. On the other side, 4 lawmakers voted against ending it after hearing it can sometimes save taxpayer money, but mainly because it would take away the choice from cities who like it.
The bill next goes to the full Utah House. KSL News Time 536 First Look traffic, emergency traffic. Ricky, what's up?
Emergency traffic continues on northbound I-15 with delays starting right about 114th South all the way up to 53rd South, where we had an earlier vehicle fire. All lanes of travel are open. However, we have big backups north and southbound Bangor Highway approaching Shields Lane, 9800 South. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
My minute's on the way next. Stay here.
Many people, Amanda, I think, start each new year with one of two resolutions. One is to lose weight. The other is to save money.
Yeah.
And if you struggle to do that in the past, UCCU has an automatic way to help you.
I have used these wonderful savings goals, savings accounts at UCCU so many times. In fact, I just set one up. It's so easy. You just go and you tell it, what are you saving for? So right now I'm saving for a senior trip for my youngest son.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell it, I have until June of 2025. I want to save this much money. And then it will tell you, all right, well then every month or every other week or whatever you want to do, you have to set aside this much, and it will automatically take it out of your savings account.
You can have as many accounts as you want, name them whatever you want, and let's just say you want to save $600 this year.
Right.
$50 a month will automatically go in, and you're reaching your goals. You haven't done a thing.
This is the way to save money and not feel it, which is the way to be successful.
So to get started, just log in to their online or mobile banking and click on any of the goals to begin.
UCCU.com. Utah Community Credit Union. Love where you bank.
Paid for by government.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 50 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-473-3993 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-473-3993. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-473-3993 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-473-3993.
Getting help with electrical repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. When I think of country music, I think of Garth Brooks, Carrie Underwood, Tim McGraw, but Beyonce? During the Super Bowl, Beyonce dropped 2 singles from her next album, and they're straight-up country music.
This ain't Texas, ain't no hold'em, so lay your cards down, 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 down.
A warning, if you're going to listen on YouTube, there's an explicit version with a short video that would melt your children's eyeballs. Google Beyonce Texas Hold'em clean version, if so inclined. So what's this all about? Country would seem like a radical departure for Beyonce, right? Oh, for months now, she's been wearing a cowboy hat to signify that country music might be in her future. Beyonce is a Texas girl born and raised in Houston. To her credit, this song isn't about losing the girl, a dying dog, or a pickup truck. In her version of country, you're driving a Lexus. But this first song from the album is full of honky-tonk cliches, and it's meant for line dancing until the abrupt change toward the end.
Ooh, it's a real live boogie and a real live hold down. Don't be a come take it to the floor now. Ooh.
Whether you like hillbilly Beyonce or not, gutsy move on Sunday while Taylor Swift was getting all the attention. Beyonce grabbed some for herself.
Photogenic, shoot.
So is it country?
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Emergency traffic. We're brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Ricky Meese.
It is a mix of slow and go and stop and go speeds northbound I-15 from 114th South up to Murray at 53rd South, with what remains of the earlier vehicle fire over to the right shoulder. Southbound I-15 delays are pretty solid from 4500 South all the way to 146 South. And now we're starting to see traffic filling in and slowing down eastbound on the South Belt from Redwood Road over to the I-15 junction. Mark?
You have something going on University Avenue right in the heart of Provo. It's very slow, both north and southbound on the freeway. It's not even as bad as it is there on University Avenue. That's southbound I-15. The delays rolling Lehigh Main Street down to Geneva Road. And then out west, Bangerter Highway is a hot spot north and southbound between the Jordans. And then Mountain View is heavy. SR 201 into West Valley, 3500 south. Michelle.
A little bit of a tight spot northbound I-15 approaching the North Interchange in North Salt Lake. Once you get past that, again, you're seeing good speeds all the way to the Utah-Idaho border. For drivers that are trying to make their way in the Uinta area, Highway 89 right around I-84, you're still seeing some delays there as you're headed southbound on that. And then we also have some delays over in Summit County. This is northbound SR 224 approaching Kimball Junction. For a limited time, open a 9-month certificate from Cyprus Credit Union and get a 5.6% APY. Learn more at any branch or visit cypruscu.com. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
It's been a nice day with temperatures back above normal. We've been to the upper 40s and we'll do it again tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies overnight with a low of 33, partly cloudy and 48 on Wednesday. Increasing clouds as the day goes on with a storm system moving in Wednesday night into Thursday. That cold front will bring in some valley rain and mountain snow to northern and central Utah, but it should move out by Thursday night. Partly cloudy skies and above normal temperatures will be the story through Friday and Saturday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
And right now in Salt Lake City, sun's about to go down. We're at 45 degrees. We're streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com. We're on the KSL News Radio app. This is Utah's news, traffic, and weather station. It's 5:42 Tuesday evening. The Super Bowl is a distant memory. You've cleaned up the guac and the Dorito dust. Now let's talk about leaving the hard work behind and pampering yourself with a trip to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. They're in downtown Salt Lake and Park City, and I promise from the moment you walk in the door, you're going to be pampered. The service, the atmosphere, the attention to detail, and the food. The food, beautiful steaks, mouth-watering steaks, garnished with herb-crusted blue cheese or butter or Oscar style. Personally, my favorite's the filet. Medium well, perfectly seasoned. There's the New York strip. The cowboy ribeye is next level. There's the chicken, the fresh seafood, the lamb, all cooked to perfection. And oh, the comfort food side dishes, the desserts. You got to save room for the desserts. If you're going to the symphony, to a game, if you want to take a lovely ride into the mountains, or if you have a gift card, pamper yourself with a night to remember. Ruth's Chris, downtown Salt Lake or Park City. I love Ruth's Chris. You will too.
Maybe Washington didn't ski. Maybe Lincoln didn't shred. Okay, could be, but I know they'd have no objections to you taking a run in their honor. So get ready. President's Weekend at Bear Lake is simply the best of Utah and the best place to celebrate our president's big days. You'll uncover 3 of the most beautiful cross-country and snowshoeing trails in Utah, or jump into a snowmobile and catch some awesome trails and over 350 miles of backcountry snowmobiling. No matter how you like your winter sports, Bear Lake is ready, and President's Weekend is the perfect time to celebrate. So pack up the family and play your way. And when you choose President's Day to play in the snow, you'll find family-friendly getaway and lodging deals, too. Start at bearlake.org and learn more about President's Day at Bear Lake. bearlake.org. Lodging, activities, family events, even ice fishing. It's winter at its best, all at Bear Lake. Visit bearlake.org for details. bearlake.org.
Paid for by government.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 50 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-473-3993 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-473-3993. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-473-3993 now to secure your $10 Gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-473-3993.
KSL News Time, 5:45. The three things you need to know this hour first.
A Utah Highway Patrol officer is in serious condition after falling off an overpass at the 7200 West exit on I-80. On KSL News Radio's Hugo Ricard Bell.
Second, the CDC is reportedly planning to drop its COVID guidelines. Instead of 5 days of quarantine, they'll recommend people stop quarantine after their symptoms stop. Third, our biggest traffic trouble spot.
A KSL traffic trooper reporting police activity on Redwood Road at about 129th South, and it is affecting traffic in both directions. Big delays both directions of Bangalore Highway approaching 9800 South, and we still have big backups northbound I-15 as you go from 114th South to Murray. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Partly cloudy skies, temperatures back above normal, and the trend continues. I'm Kevin Eubank.
45 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Now, KSL's top national stories with Maria Chaleos.
Jeff, the U.S. House has voted to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. The Republican majority determined to punish the Biden administration over its handling of the U.S.-Mexico border. That after failing to get the votes last week in what was a politically embarrassing setback. The evening roll call tonight proved tight, with Speaker Mike Johnson's threadbare GOP majority unable to handle any defectors or absences in the face of staunch Democratic opposition to impeaching Mayorkas. He is the first cabinet secretary to face charges in nearly 150 years. In this historic vote, the House impeached Mayorkas 214 to 213. And that was with the help of the return of Majority Leader Steve Scalise, who has just come back from cancer treatment. Now, critics of the impeachment effort say the charges against Mayorkas amount to a policy dispute over Biden's border policy, and it's hardly rising to the Constitution bar of high crimes and misdemeanors. The charges against Mayorkas will now go to the Senate for trial, but neither Democratic nor Republican senators have shown any interest in the matter, and it may be indefinitely shelved to a committee. Jeff.
Thanks a lot, Maria. Now the KSL in depth. Utah lawmakers are considering a proposal to boost the number of children allowed in unlicensed daycare facilities. Representative Susan Pulsifer is the sponsor of the bill. She spoke with David Dujanovic about how unlicensed providers would be able to have 8 kids instead of 6 in their care.
It's just an option for maybe a more unusual circumstance. Say you have 2 children, and so that would give you the option to have 8, and maybe you only have 4, but those 4 children are 2 families, and they each have one or 2 children that go to school, and they just need a spot to come after school. So these would be older children. And maybe you as a provider said, I'm just really good with having my 4. That's great for me. But then these parents need a place for their kids to come after school for a couple hours. And so then that gives me, if I have that 7 or 8 option, it gives me that opportunity to have them. So I see it more as increasing options for circumstances that are not, like having kids there from 8 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night.
It would also expand this measure, the child tax credit.
For me, the very most important part of this bill is the expansion of the tax credit we created last year. And last year, the tax credit would give families that had children between the 2 and 3 year old age a tax credit up to $1,000 per child. And this year, we're expanding that to include 4 and 5 year olds. And that goes to the families, and families can use that to however they choose to. But as I say, all children need child care.
Pulsifer went on to say that her bill would also require background checks, even for unlicensed child care providers. Voices for Utah Children have spoken out against the legislation, saying it sacrifices the health and safety of Utah's youngest community members. KSL News Time 5:50 now. Emergency traffic, we're brought to you here by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Ricky Meese.
Not as many stop-and-go delays, but we still have traffic at a crawl northbound I-15, 114 south up to the vehicle fire at 53rd south with what's left of that over to the right shoulder. So all lanes of travel are open. And that's in addition to a little bit of traffic bogged down northbound I-15 approaching the Bangerter Highway exit in Draper. Southbound I-15 delays continue from Murray to Bluffdale. And then we have a KSL traffic trooper reporting police activity affecting traffic in both directions. Redwood Road at about 130th South. Mark?
Just about a full house in Provo on the streets off the freeway tonight. Also, it's been very heavy to go to the game on University Parkway in Orem from I-15 out to State Street. Now, the freeway itself is not that bad from just after Lehigh Main Street down to about Geneva Road is the worst of the southbound traffic. And then Redwood Road coming from Bluffdale is good. Bangerter's been rough north and southbound at 9800 South. Mountain View's been heavy, SR 201 to 3500 South. Michelle.
Well, we're looking at a little bit of slowdown. This is northbound I-15 approaching the North Interchange in North Salt Lake. Southbound, you're also seeing some delays there as well. This is around 500 south in Bountiful. For drivers that are trying to get northbound in Summit County, still seeing delays. This is northbound SR 224 as you're approaching Kimball Junction at I-80. Is the IRS harassing you? Are tax problems ruining your life? Let Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox help. Visit taxhelput.com. That's taxhelput.com. I'm Michelle Rowan, the KSL Traffic Center.
We started the day with lots of sunshine, but clouds rolled in this afternoon and temperatures right back in the upper 40s. We're going to do it again tomorrow. Partly cloudy and 48 on Wednesday. Increasing clouds Wednesday night, and a storm will come in on Thursday. That'll bring valley rain and mountain snow to northern and central Utah. A break from the storminess on Friday and Saturday. Partly cloudy skies, highs near 50. And then one more round of storminess comes in Sunday. More valley rain and mountain snow leading into President's Day. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
The 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. 44 degrees. BYU basketball is coming up. You can keep up with our emergency traffic by texting the word news to 57500. We're also going to update traffic on X. Just follow at KSL Traffic.
This is Lisa Nichols from Intermountain Health with Your Life, Your Health. There's a new healthcare leader for Intermountain Health in Spanish Fork, Utah. Megan Johnson, a longtime healthcare leader who has served in numerous capacities during her distinguished career, has been named president of Intermountain Spanish Fork Hospital. Johnson was the first nurse administrator at the hospital, which opened in 2021. Before that, she served in several roles at Intermountain Orem Community Hospital, including nurse administrator and emergency department manager. Johnson replaces Frances Gibson, who served as president of Spanish Fork Hospital since it opened in 2021. Gibson is leaving to lead the Utah Hospital Association. Johnson has been with Intermountain Health since 2005, serving in different roles at 4 Intermountain Utah County hospitals. Mike Clark, president of Intermountain's Health South Market, thanked Gibson for his leadership and service and said Megan has demonstrated excellent leadership in her role as the hospital's director of nursing. As she transitions to her new role, I look forward to seeing her expand her influence and impact as Spanish Fork Hospital continues to grow and serve the community. As a leading community hospital, caregivers at Spanish Fork Hospital are trained to handle any medical need, but their main area of focus includes women's health and medical surgical services. As part of Intermountain Health, Spanish Fork Hospital provides a convenient place to access an entire system of specialists when needed. I'm Lisa Nichols with Intermountain Health on KSL News Radio.
Have you heard of IRS Tax Code Section 1.408A-4? It sounds complicated, but it's a simple tax law thousands of Utah families are using to lock in lower tax bills when they retire. If you've saved at least $200,000 for retirement, and some of this money is in an IRA or 401k, it could save you tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars in future tax bills. You can find out how much you could save by requesting a free and confidential retirement tax savings analysis. It's from Boss Retirement Solutions, a 5-time winner of Utah's Best of State Award. For your free retirement tax analysis, call 801-896-9622. 801-896-9622. That's 801-896-9622.
Advisory services offered through Boss Retirement Advisors, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm. Insurance products and services offered through Boss Retirement Solutions.
There are two amazing productions, very different productions, on the stages right now at Hale Center Theater. One is Clue, that I thoroughly enjoyed. It is a madcap comedy, and as I mentioned, it has the greatest death scene I have ever seen on the stage. Then down the hall in the theater in the round, it's Fiddler on the Roof. It is breathtaking. You are going to love both productions that are underway right now at Hale Center Theater, but there's so much more to come. May We All, a country musical, is coming up next. Then The Time Machine, The Nutty Professor, The Addams Family, which is wonderful, and The Magician's Elephant Plus. The season wraps up just before the Christmas production of A Christmas Carol, Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Get your tickets now. Go to hct.org. And be sure to pick up gift cards, too. They're perfect just to slip in a thank you card. Go to hct.org.
We're watching Utah's Money, brought to you by Utah First Credit Union. Paramount has announced it's laying off 800 employees immediately after streaming the Super Bowl, the most popular TV broadcast ever. Paramount, which owns CBS, is cutting costs. Fed-up flight attendants have set up picket lines at 30 airports around the country. They're upset pilots got their pay hike last year, but flight attendant wages are stalled where they were years ago. No movement on new contracts. 26,000 flight attendants are threatening to walk off. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 524 points. The S&P fell 68 today, and on interest rate worries, the Nasdaq fell 286 points. KSL News Time, 5:57, Cougar Tracks now. Here's KSL Sports BYU insider Mitch Harper.
Their first repeat Big 12 opponent tonight when they host the UCF Knights. The 19th-ranked Cougars, who moved up 2 spots in the AP poll this week, faced UCF a month ago in Orlando in a game that was ruled by defense in a 63-58 BYU win. Head coach Mark Pope expects more of the same tonight against the Knights.
What a team. My gosh. It's like a slugfest. And they're doing an unbelievable job. They've done a great job moving into the Big 12. They've had huge wins. They're ridiculously physical and athletic. Johnny is a great coach and a better human being, and I love him. And so it's going to be all-out war, just like every game is in this league.
BYU versus UCF tips off at 7 p.m. with pregame coverage starting at 6 right here on KSL and the KSL News Radio app. With Cougar Tracks, I'm Mitch Harper on your legacy home of the BYU Cougars. KSL News Radio.
They say it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert. You may not have that kind of time for weatherization, energy efficiency, and appliance rebates, but we do. Dominion Energy's ThermWise program has experts who know where and how to save money. They help homeowners and businesses find simple ways to conserve natural gas and rebates through upgrades that may help to save even more. We put our energy into helping you conserve it, so you can spend your 10,000 hours becoming an expert in what matters to you. Start with a home energy plan at thermwise.com.
Dominion Energy's ThermWise program experts help you save money. Start now at thermwise.com. Traffic and weather together brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents a gallon. Here's Ricky Meese.
Delays both directions of I-15 between 5300 and 146 South, but clearing on the rest of your Salt Lake County freeways. Mark?
Yeah, it's looking a little bit better in Utah County on southbound I-15, but you still do have delays, really concentrating about Pleasant Grove Boulevard. Streets, of course, through Provo are very heavy. Bangerter Highway still having issues southbound at 9800 South. Michelle.
Still just looking at a little bit of slowing northbound I-15 as you're going through the Bountiful and Woods Cross area for drivers on Foothill Drive. That's also a bit of a slow ride between University of Utah and I-80. With fresh snow comes fresh tracks at Murdoch Hyundai. Right now, receive 0% for 3 years on the Tucson or Santa Fe. I'm Michelle Rowe in the KSL Traffic Center.
Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 9s. We're expecting partly cloudy skies overnight. We're heading down to 32 degrees. We get a partly cloudy Valentine's Day with a warm, loving 48 degrees. Rain is expected on Thursday. We have the pregame show. BYU faces UCF tonight. Stay with us. KSL News Radio.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
following is a presentation of the new skin, BYU Sports Network. BYU Cougars basketball is on the air.
Up high to Robinson, pull, fire, score! For three! Action Jackson!
This is Cougar Pregame Live, brought to you